Brad and Ron. Weekday afternoon. MoJo 50.
Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. Call right now. That number again is 800-245-0823.
MoJo 50. The question isn't who's going to let us. The question is who's going to stop us. Adjust your mojo now. Thank you. The mothership has landed. Doc Thompson. Brad Staggs. The mighty MoJo 50.
I don't know where to start. First of all, I think before anything else, just listen. Hear that? It's quiet.
I hear quiet.
Must mean Lori D's not here.
What?
No, if she was here, it wouldn't be quiet. Well, we survived another year of, actually, technically the first year of MoJoCon.
Correct.
MoJoCon 2019 is now in the history books. By the way, the Lost and Found reports we have 4 pairs of socks, 2 pairs of shoes, a wallet, an ID, and 3 reputations. The reputation's probably not going to be reunited with their owners, but, hey, it was fun. You got the stories to tell. That's the most important thing.
It was quite the success, though, Brad. I mean, we had a lot of people here on Friday or Thursday and Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had Doc's, celebration of life. That was great.
Yep.
But then they tore up Fort Worth on Friday night and Saturday.
Yes, they did.
Tore it up.
Yeah. Yeah, they are still rebuilding parts of Fort Worth this morning. Actually, went out on Saturday night and caught up with several of the jackholes at, I think it was called Sam's House. It was a bar.
In the stockyards?
Yeah, well, near the stockyards. It's a bar that had karaoke.
Great.
I do not understand karaoke. I don't, and I just...
Hey, I have to admit, I saw a video of Jen from Bill and Jen of Common Sense singing.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Well, that's great.
Wow.
I've never had the desire to get up in front of a group and sing. Have you?
No.
So I don't know.
No, not unless I'm 3 sheets.
Even then, that's, by the way, just so you know, that's the worst time to do it.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Because then the videos surface the next day.
Then there would have been 4 reputations.
Right. The next day you wonder, what the hell was I thinking? See, your friends don't let friends karaoke. It was on Saturday night. It was quite the loud experience. And again, it was that whole, I get into situations like that. I can't hear. I just can't hear it. It's like the cigar thing that we did.
Yeah.
I can't.
Everything just blends together. It's so loud. You can see their lips moving, but you can't.
And it doesn't matter. You can shout into my ear, and I can I can't communicate in those situations. So I just kind of fade off into the distance and fade out the door. And, I just goodbyes, and goodbyes suck anyway. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you, everybody, for being here. It was fun. For those of you who weren't here and listening, thanks for tolerating, because I know it's like being the only sober person in a room full of drunks. That is that's worse than being hungover, is being the sober guy in a room full of drunk people. because you just want to slap them
Well,
all.
then you become the adult in the room.
And that sucks too. So nobody wants to be the adult. And then you're just having to deal with it and just all of that. So
I'll tell you, we had a good Saturday morning, though. You know, we did the tailgating show live, and then we recorded for the Whiskey Six show, Whiskey Off Track show.
Is that what the candles in here? I thought there's some satanic ritual.
They
or
actually
something
burned the
going
candles during the tailgating show for whatever reason. Maybe they were trying to
purify,
kill some other
evil
smoke
spirits,
that might have been in the room.
Huh.
But no, the Whiskey Six guys, the gang, they all sat around the table. First time they've done a show face to face, and I'm going to tell you, the show sounded good. I'm like, Whiskey, we got to get you a microphone, brother.
See,
golden voice. Love it.
Yeah, he's got a great voice, and Peachy and all the rest. It was fabulous to see everybody here and to touch everyone in inappropriate ways. Is there any other way to do it? Is there any other way than the Joe Biden way? By the way, today is a big day in Stockholm. All of the big boys, the big guys from the U.S., the Russia, and other nations, everybody that borders the Arctic, they're meeting in Finland today to discuss policies governing the polar regions as tensions grow over how to deal with global warming, and more importantly, and this is key, how to deal with access to mineral wealth. See, what's happening here is that as the ice melts in some places, other countries like China are trying to show up to the party and saying, hey, we'd like some of that. Because what's happening is that as the ice melts and there's some, places, ice melts, it refreezes. That's what it does. There are undiscovered pockets of oil, natural gas, deposits of minerals like zinc and iron and rare earth metals, all of that. So, see, that's one of the upsides to global warming, climate change, call it what you will. As things shift around, things open up. Pockets of diamonds. Like it's raining diamonds on Jupiter or Saturn, wherever it is. But things open up down here. It's like, ooh, look at that. Look at all the shiny stuff that's popping up over there. Which, by the way, the new bell.
That's a new one?
Yeah, this is the new.
Oh, yeah.
This is what. You know what? That just.
They sound the same.
They do. That's the new one. That's the old one. It's hard to tell it. For some reason, the old ones they get sticky, which is in and of itself. But Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who's going to be giving a speech today at the Arctic Council meeting in Rovaniemi, that's in Finland, for those of you who didn't know, rejecting a role for China in shaping the Arctic policy. Wow, they're not going to let China play in the reindeer games, apparently. So it's only going to be the Russians and the who else borders on the Arctic? Yeah, check a map. You'll figure it out. But that's the real reason. It's not about the imminent destruction of civilization as we know it. It's about who's going to find the money. Show me the. I'm telling you, show me the money. Every time you follow the money trail, you will find the reason why people do what they do and why governments do what they do.
Exactly.
That's a given. And then, of course, there's Barney Frank, who gave us a little treat over the weekend when he was on with Chris Matthews over on MSNBC. This going back to the days when Barney Frank was still working in government, and Tip O'Neill thought he could be Speaker of the House, but unfortunately, according to Mr. O'Neill, he revealed that he was gay, not Tip O'Neill, but Barney Frank, and that so that kind of killed his chances, according to Tip O'Neill again, that of him advancing his career. All of this to say that Barney Frank is a big supporter of Pete Buttigieg. Who'd have thunk?
To say, are you surprised by that?
Not at all.
Me either.
Not at all. I am surprised that Barney Frank, when he talks, it's not so much talking as it's you have to listen. It almost sounds like he's drunk now. I mean, it's just gotten worse as he's gotten on. Anyway, here he is talking to Chris Matthews.
Well, fast forward today, and we're seeing an openly gay candidate rising in the polls for the Democratic presidential nominacy. Joining right now is former
and by the way,
Barney
what the hell did Chris Matthews just say? Rising in the rank to what?
See an openly gay candidate rising in the polls for the Democratic presidential nominacy. Joining me right now, former Congressman.
The presidential nominacy? I think he's drunk, too.
Barney Frank from Massachusetts. Congressman, it's great to have you back on for this, but you're the pro. You've been through this. What's your reaction?
Okay, that was weird. You're the pro. You're the pro what?
The pro gay presidential nominee?
See, now you're talking like Chris Matthews.
Yeah.
The nominate. By the way, this is one of those opportunities. If you are actually watching over on MoJo 50 TV, this is one of those perfect examples of a 30-second or 30 frame per second video when there's not one of them that looks good.
When you paused it,
yeah, they both got their eyes closed. That's I don't know what the hell they're thinking. Anyway, here's Barney Frank.
Watching what you're seeing.
Oh, I'm delighted with it. Chris, you and I, Tip was one of our heroes. I just like to think how he would have reacted back then. It is doubly wonderful in two ways. First of all, the fact that this is not a negative. In fact, I think it's a positive for Mayor Pete. That is, if he were straight, I don't think he'd be getting the attention he was getting.
Okay. If Mayor Pete were straight, he wouldn't be getting this much attention. If, in fact, that's true, what's that say about the electorate? Just because he's gay, he's getting attention? That's just whatever happened, again, to the best man for the job. Just because he's gay, he's getting attention. Whether his ideas are good or not, just because he's gay, he's getting attention. Thank you, Mr. Frank.
And the second part is that when he gets the attention, he is so talented and good at this and solid that
just figured that was needed.
Makes the most of it, and it's a benefit. So his progress is both a sign that the prejudice is diminishing, and it is an opportunity further to diminish the prejudice by giving him this platform. And as to the hecklers, I'd be disappointed if there weren't any.
Does it seem like Barney Frank should keep a sponge in his mouth to soak up the extra?
Hell
I don't know.
is he saying?
I don't know. There's a lot of this going on in there.
Wow.
Say, just because he's gay, that's why he's getting all this attention. Did his tongue get twice as big? Maybe that's why he's so popular.
Maybe.
Could be.
Don't get heckled if nobody thinks they're a threat. The fact that these bigoted lunatics start acting out in public, it's a sign of their desperation. And yeah, he did handle it very well. So I guess the way I'd summarize it is this. We remember Joe Biden's reference to a BFD. Well, when Jim and I get married in 2012, it was a BFD internationally. Pete Buttigieg's marriage is apparently
Pete who? Pete
NBD. And that move, that change in adjectives of the deal is a very, very important sign of progress.
Anyway.
It was an NBD.
NBD.
No big deal.
Nope. No big deal. What's his husband's name? Jim? Just think. Jim kisses that mouth. Nothing against being gay. It's just what the hell? When I wonder if he probably drowns. I mean, there's just a lot of spit going on in there or something. Carry a sponge. Speaking of the candidates, there is the new poll over at Real Clear Politics where they've taken out and they've averaged all of the polls. And how many are there? There are a bunch of polls. I don't know, 36 something, 25. What bunch of polls. And over at Real Clear Politics, for the week ending 5/1, Biden has on average 36% of the vote if it were taken today. Sanders with 16%. Biden clearly the front runner. Elizabeth Warren 8%. Kamala Harris 7.4%. Pete Buttigieg is at 7%. Beto O'Rourke. Man, Beto's got to be pissed at this point. Beto's got to be rethinking his life choices. If Beto had been gay, just saying. I mean, he could be there. He could be taking on Buttigieg.
It's a good point. Everybody's got their story.
Uh-huh.
Beto had his story down in Texas.
Yep.
His story is not as,
he may be
guess, popular now.
Nope.
Is that the thing?
Nope. It's a hard fact to face. Booker is at 2.4%. Amy Klobuchar at 1.6. Yang. Who is Yang? I don't even know who that candidate is. Yang?
Never heard.
Nope. That's why they're 0.8%.
I couldn't tell you if it was a man or a woman, frankly.
Yin, on the other hand. Inslee is at 0.6, Gabbard at 0.6, and Castro at 0.6. So it's clear who
it's like Biden is like, what, 1.5 times Bernie Sanders?
Oh, yeah, 16, yes. Well, close to 1.5, at least double.
Wow.
At least double. So, yeah, it's pretty, and, you know, for fans of President Trump, I think I think Trump would beat Joe Biden in a race today. Don't you?
Trump?
I think Trump could handily take.
Quite honestly, I think Trump would beat Biden, yes. And I don't think that the public wants to see Biden back in the White House.
It is pretty funny when you think about it. The Democrats, the party of inclusion, the party of gay, the party of women, they've got a white guy. An old white guy leading the field again. So there you go. If you haven't yet gone to Tar River Arms, oh man, one of the new guns they have on the site, the Black Rain Ordnance Fallout 15-P.
That's a sharp looking gun.
It's technically a pistol.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know the I don't know the true definition. I don't know if it just the fact that it has a pistol grip or
well, it's the butt stock that's out there. I guess. I mean,
that's one of the things that California hates.
Yeah,
by the way.
For me, it looks like an AR, but
it's a pistol.
It's a pistol. Yeah, that's a beautiful gun,
isn't it? Still got the tags on it. Still has that new car smell. And Black Rain does some amazing. I mean, they do amazing work. That is just really a slick looking gun. If you're in the market for a gun, whether it's for self-defense, whether it's for hunting, just shooting, or whether you just want to have something hanging on your wall, this is if you haven't been to traguns.com, take a look because they've got incredible prices on incredible guns, and you won't find a more convenient gun store anywhere else on the planet. This Black Rain model it's almost hypnotizing watching it go round and round and round. Very pretty gun. Don't call it pretty. It's got that Cerakote on it, too. The Cerakote, that's what we saw at, which I'd never heard before when we were at SHOT Show. Remember, they had the great advertising in the bathrooms?
Right.
They had the...
right above the urinal.
We'll let you look at it. We'll let you see.
I'll show you mine if you show me.
We'll even let you touch it. As long as you wash your hands first. But anyways, go to traguns.com. Take a look at the Black Rain Ordnance Fallout 15-P 556 pistol. It's very cool. And I was looking at this morning over on Twitter. They had who was it that? And I retweeted. Austin Peterson had the coolest. It's a headboard with a shotgun mount built into it, essentially.
I've seen that.
This thing is just really...
I've seen that. The guy leans back and pushes that headboard in, and the shotgun drops down into his hands.
How do you make this bigger?
I think just click on it.
No, that didn't work. But anyway, it's just really cool. If you haven't seen it, go to... I retweeted it this morning. The little guy just leans back, like pushes his hands in there and comes out with a shotgun. I want one of those. I may build that this summer. Yeah,
that'd be nice.
And by the way, while you're there on Twitter, if you I think the somewhere in Texas video this morning kind of summed up MoJo Con pretty much in a nutshell.
Did. That bear's been laying there for what 3 days now. He can't get up.
He looks hungover and fat.
He looks hungover.
Actually, you know what? It says because I can see him from here. It says something on his foot. Something Larry. I wonder if that's a secret. That must be the secret. Maybe that's a clue as to where Lusty went.
Yeah, we never found
We
that.
still haven't found Lusty Jill Hole. So
someone here knows where she is, but he will not say.
How do you know it's
he
a
must be sworn to secrecy.
That Handicapped Jeff says he knows where it is?
Jeff knows where she's at or knows who has her.
I think he's lying. I think he just wants attention. He doesn't know where it's at. And how do we know that Lusty didn't just get up and walk away of her own accord? How do we know that she didn't look around and say, damn, what a bunch of reprobates, I'm getting out of here? Which is saying something, by the way, if you're a sex doll and you get a...
Oh, yeah.
Either that or she was frightened.
Whoever has Lusty, be sure to clean the red crap away from her mouth. Because
just because.
The ring popped out.
Yeah, it did. Yes,
Melted
it did.
into the carpet.
Yeah, it did. They haven't seen that yet.
Not yet.
Building management.
It's under the couch.
Good. So they won't find it until we move out. What the hell was going on behind their couch in here? In Islamabad on Saturday, we had meetings with the Taliban.
We did?
Yes. Yeah, apparently we are meeting with the Taliban to discuss the withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan. Did you know that? I didn't know it.
Why would we be discussing that with the Taliban?
I don't know. The Taliban on Saturday said the gap is narrowing in talks with Washington's special peace envoy over a timetable for the withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan. The two sides are continuing to meet in Qatar, depending on how you say it, where the insurgent movement maintains a political office. Now, that just seems weird. Where do you guys want to meet? Let's meet at our office. The Taliban has an office. What, is it in a cave? Is it, do they have, is it along like, no, you go in, you push the third floor, go out the hallway, 2 doors down on the right. Just look for the bloodstains.
Oh.
Just look for we have it marked by heads on pikes. It's just bizarre that to think that the Taliban has an office somewhere. I don't know. I guess, what are you going to do? Meet in the middle of nowhere? I mean, how unprofessional does that look? Let's meet at the Denny's. We don't have an office, so we'll just meet at Denny's. Just sounds strange. In a voice message to the Associated Press, the Taliban spokesperson in Doha, Suhail Shaheen, said both sides have offered new proposals for drawing down U.S. and NATO forces. This would be a significant initial step toward a deal to end nearly 18 years of war and America's longest military engagement. Spoiler alert, we're never getting out of Afghanistan. Again, if you go back, the two big draws to Afghanistan are, of course, poppies and lithium. As long as we are using both of those, we'll never see complete withdrawal from Afghanistan. Come on. Who are we kidding? Had dinner on Saturday night before going out to meet the Jack Hole Nation with I got to be careful how I put this because with an FBI agent.
I heard.
Fascinating.
I bet.
Fascinating story. And it will be interesting to hear these stories moving forward because essentially we opened up a dialogue. And I have to be careful how I say this, just it's going to be very interesting. Some of the stories that this person, I'm not going to say if it was a male or a female, offered up are very insightful and will be very interesting as we move forward because they have obviously an inside track to a lot of what's happening in the world today.
That's actually intriguing to me.
Oh, it's yeah.
Was it a clandestine meeting or was it just a meeting?
It was in public, but I'll tell you a little bit more coming up here in just a second. First, though, one of the best times, the most popular and best days to start a diet. Would you? I mean, if you had to venture a guess,
most popular day?
Yeah, and probably the best day. Let's just say of the week. What day would you say?
Oh, I would think the most popular is a Monday.
Yeah. Because it gives you everybody that's the fresh start thing.
Because everybody pigs out on Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm. It feels like crap on Monday. So I'm going to start a diet. It's Tuesday. I'm starting a diet. I'm never drinking again ever until Friday. So yeah,
those words were uttered 100 times.
Yeah, they were, and never followed once. At least not at MoJoCon. Birthdays and anniversaries, both good ideas and good days to start diets. If you are in that mindset, if you're ready to shed the excess pounds, if you are ready to start becoming the new you, go to riduzone.com. And here's the reason. Riduzone is not a magic bullet. It's not going to make you skinny overnight. It's not going to do any of those things. But what it will do is give you just that little extra oomph. It'll help speed up the sluggish metabolism. It'll help you feel fuller faster to help keep you from sport eating, which is really where we all get into trouble. It's those extra bites of food after you really are full that this tastes good. I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to have one more bowl. That's where it helps you out. Riduzone helps you out there on the fringes. That's where you need the most help. It helps support a healthy weight and a healthy lifestyle. Riduzone.com. Use promo code MoJo. And you will find some great savings there as well. Get started on that diet today. It's Monday after all. Riduzone.com. This is your Daily Mojo.
Happily promoting the 4 F's. Freedom, faith, free markets, and fun. MoJo 50.
I'm Mike Opelka from PureOpelka.com. Here's your 2-minute drill. Well, the Democrats and the climate madness people have succeeded in scaring kids so badly that they're actually skipping school. Yes, skipping school. We heard on MSNBC last week from a group of children who have decided it's more important for them to show up at some dumb UN environmental protest than it is to actually go to school and get educated. Listen to one 12-year-old who was heard on TV.
So I've been skipping school for 11 weeks now, and it is a sacrifice that we have to make because we are missing important things, but we realize that if we don't skip this school, we might not have a future, so we need to.
So we need to. We need to what? You need to show up for class. And she's not the only one doing this dumb thing, lest you think I'm cherry-picking just one student. There were more.
And even at your age, what does this have you thinking about sort of in a bigger picture?
So it kind of makes me think that in the 2020 election, I'm scared for my future. I'm scared that the politicians won't be declaring a climate emergency, won't be taking climate action. That's why, because I can't personally vote, and I'm begging my parents to vote for the candidate that wants climate action.
Congratulations, Democrats. You're now officially the party that wants kids not to go to school, not to get educated. You want them cowering in the corner, fearful of everything. Testudo, my friends. Testudo.
Mike Opelka's 2-minute drill is powered by MoJoWildRice.com. Their wild rice is a superfood, gluten, sodium, fat, and cholesterol-free, yet high in fiber, protein, zinc, phosphorus, and trace minerals. But you're going to love it because it's delicious. MoJoWildRice.com. MoJoWildRice.com.
The Daily Mojo.
Kermode Pair tweeted, hashtag what I learned today. Make sure you use that, by the way, that hashtag. Brad's Middle Eastern accent sounds more like an English gentleman. No. An English gentleman is more like this. It's more Thurston Howell. This is more, thank you very much. Go to the middle, go down the middle room, go down the hallway, the middle room on the right.
It sounds like my buddy from the 7-Eleven. It does.
Haji?
The guy that I see every morning.
Haji.
Yeah.
Haji, your road buddy. Pickled Squirrel says, not only did I miss out on hugging Brad and Beth Saturday night, I miss out on clandestine national security type thing. Should I have risked a 0 sleep night? Yes. That's always them. But I tell you, was it Friday when I came in here on about 45 minutes sleep? Boy, that was an interesting day, wasn't it? Woo! If you didn't listen to Friday, if you weren't listening to Friday's show, listen to the podcast. But take some either take some Goodies powders or some Excedrin first. That'll ward off the headache that you will definitely get from it. The most popular day to start a diet is tomorrow. That's true. I will agree. That's true. And Mojo Jedi, you're right. Brad thinks the Taliban sound like a customer call center in India. Yes, it's. Thank you for calling Dell customer service. Press 1 if your computer doesn't work. Oh, I mean, that's where they all have their service centers. The clandestine FBI meeting on Saturday night was fascinating because you realize that working for the FBI it's just like working really for any other company. I mean, you still have the people who stand around the water cooler and, the gossip and all of that. And the difference is they're just dealing with stuff that is really, really potentially dangerous. Yeah. Really interesting because it has to deal with national security and everything that we all have to, most of us don't think about on a daily basis. It's a good thing that there are some good people in the FBI that are dealing with it. I don't know if I at one point I went to the Sheriff's Academy, or not to the Sheriff's Academy. I took the test for the Sheriff's Academy in L.A. And my plan at one point was to become an L.A. County Sheriff and then to get on into the Secret Service. Obviously, I didn't follow that track.
I actually had an endorsement from one of my commanders in the Air Force for the Secret Service. Of course,
it was the eye that kept you out, wasn't it?
It was the eye. No, being colorblind. So yes, the eye.
I thought that was a good thing, being colorblind.
No,
be colorblind. Don't be so shallow.
But yeah, so of course, not everybody is aware that when you say Secret Service, everyone thinks president, right? Mm-hmm. They think that you're riding in the car with the president. No, that's a small part of.
That's not what you do. Yeah. That's what I wanted to do, was just ride the back seat of the limo with the president.
Run alongside. There you go.
Mr. President, here's what I was thinking you should do today. You don't get to advise him on his day and everything else.
No.
Mm-mm. You just get the privilege of jumping in front of the bullet if someone shoots. And that's really, I mean, as a Secret Service agent, if you're on that detail, that's your job. And you see somebody, your job to get between the bullet and the president.
Yep. Whew. But you have a uniform division of the Secret Service.
Right.
They also are the ones for, money laundering and things like that.
Originally, that's what the Secret Service did.
Exactly
was
what that was for, yeah.
The monetary system in the country of counterfeiting and all of that.
Yep, counterfeiting.
So, yeah, I'm not sure. If I was guarding the president, I'm not sure that I'd be like, is this guy worth jumping in front of a bullet for? See, I mean, with that mindset,
you would never be guarding the president if he wasn't worth that to you.
Right. If I have to, if they ask me that question, I go, well, they'd say, thank you, next.
I don't even think you'd get to the question. I think
probably not. Yeah. Would you jump in? Oh, I don't know. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure that. You always wonder about that. If you'd ever, if anybody that you cared about was being threatened,
I will tell you, Brad, the most important video anyone who can become a Secret Service agent should watch is the Reagan attempt, the assassination attempt on Reagan.
Yeah.
McCarthy, was it McCarthy? I think it's his name.
Yeah.
He took a bullet for the president.
Yeah, he did. Did he die?
I don't think so.
Because James Brady was hit.
Brady was hit as well.
And paralyzed in that one. Yeah, I mean, it's a which division gets the hookers? Is that the presidential detail?
No, actually, it's the ones who go ahead of the president. You know what I'm talking about?
That's the one I want to be on.
They're the ones that travel first.
That's it. I figured it out. That's the detail I want to be on. So we're going to go check things out, make sure everything's in order, and
we will let you know.
Yeah. Yep. We'll
let you know how it is.
We'll give you the high sign if things are good. Speaking of getting in the way of things, Maximum Security didn't do so well we were sitting there watching the Derby on Saturday at the little clandestine meeting that we had.
God, can you imagine?
So we have the video.
We've got the video. I've watched it 4 times, and quite honestly, it's hard to make out what is going on. That caused the problem.
All right, so here is, let's see.
Talking about Maximum Security in the winter, he was taken down and placed behind the one. I think it was in 8th or 9th place behind the one War of Will So
and the One More of Will, is that the name of the horse? The One? I think it is. All right, so
it changed the outcome of the Derby, and man, oh man, it is just an unbelievable scene here. The pouring rain, first of all, the slop, and then this. I've never seen anything like it.
All right, Jody, let me back this up and let's unpack this. Here's the first question. Is this a controversial call or?
all right, is that right there where the horse is in the way?
So the number 7 horse, Maximum Security,
right,
supposedly drifted to the right, which caused 2 other horses to, or made contact, which caused him to contact somebody else. So it was considered interference.
So they can't move wherever they want to?
I don't guess.
If you're in front, how the hell do you know who's behind you?
Well, that's a good point.
I mean, they don't have rearview mirrors on the horses.
So maybe he was supposed to stay in his track. Maybe he was supposed to stay in his line.
Well, that's stupid. Then you could never win.
But they said it was a unanimous decision by the stewards.
I just don't. I mean, and it was 21 or 22 minutes after the finish of the race.
Oh yeah.
So for the first 20 minutes, everybody thought that it was Maximum Security that was initially the one in pink. Actually, there was four jockeys wearing pink, so it was kind of hard to figure out which one they were talking about initially. But they certainly stand out on the field.
Well, wasn't this a historical call, meaning that it was the first time
it's never happened.
Never happened, yeah.
And then the winner turned out to be
65-1.
Which, okay, following the rule, always follow the money. Something's going on. Second highest payout in Kentucky Derby history.
Yeah.
65-1. That's a lot of money. The whole thing, and maybe there's a rule that I don't know about, but
now isn't the Kentucky Derby the first of 3?
Yeah, the Belmont and then the
Preakness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this long shot, I don't think.
What was the name of the ultimate winner? Country.
It was blah 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 blah. Country House.
Country House.
It was Maximum Security had almost a 2-length lead over Country House. The fact that Country House was going to come in second at 65-1, although I don't know when to place. I don't know if the odds were that high.
But our illustrious president of the United States got involved. He had to tweet.
Yeah, wrong call. Not a good one. I can't do a good Trump. Only in these days of political correctness could such an overturn occur, according to the president. The best horse did not win the Kentucky Derby. Not even close. And again, unless I guess there's some rule that obviously there must be some rule that says they can't touch another horse, or Biden will never be running, will he? I
mean, I'm guessing that the interference or the bumping into one horse, causing it to bump into another, actually slows them down.
Well, sure. I mean, if you're moving that fast and something hits you, you're gonna slow down. But again, how do you know
Hell,
what's
I had
behind
no idea
you?
there was even a rule like that.
No, I didn't either.
I'd have been all over the place blocking and.
Yeah, I mean the idea. If you're gonna if it's just a straight on race, then why don't you just have a quarter mile that they race, half mile?
I think it's a mile, but
is it a mile?
Mile and a quarter, maybe.
They only go around once, right?
Yes, but it's a long track. But here's the thing:
why not just have a straight track then? Why have the turns?
Good point. But
I mean, just have a mile-long track. If you don't want anybody, and then just have the lanes cordoned off so you can't interfere with anybody.
I don't know much about horse racing, but I can tell you that these horses train for years for this, and it's literally a 2-minute race.
Oh yeah, and it's quite the.
But these horses are full out the whole time.
Yeah, they are, and they are. I mean, it's interesting to watch for those. What do they say? The most exciting 2 minutes in sports. It's pretty intense, but I don't know. Well, so we'll see. I guarantee you there are going to be other people bringing up videos and pointing out, 5 years ago, here's this horse jumped in front of this one and touched this one, so why weren't they disqualified? There's got to be other examples of this. I mean, this can't possibly be the first time in the history of that race that a horse has touched another one.
Well, you would think so. Jen on Facebook says they can't impede another horse even accidentally like this one.
Well, okay, the very fact that it's called accidentally, then how in the hell? I mean,
I'm telling you, the horses have to stay in their track is what I'm thinking.
Then none of them do. I mean, if they were all going to stay in their track, that they would be spread out across the entire.
They would be.
So
because as soon as they leave the gate, they all merge into the center. Yeah.
Because your shortest distance or your easiest your curve is going to be closest to the rail. Yeah. I guess that will be one for the record books, and it will be debated forever and ever. Amen. Speaking of forever and ever, I don't know that the Rich Solution was unbanned from Facebook over the weekend.
Well, she did send out a message to everybody to respond to her so that she would know that they're still there or that they've rejoined. I think they had to rejoin. I'm not certain. But.
Yeah, this is you think the Kentucky Derby controversy was big. This is the fact that the Rich Solutions Doc Thompson's Healthy Lifestyle Challenge Facebook group was Facebook banned for I think it must have been a keyword thing. It must have been the combination.
She posted something that had Tucker Carlson in it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. If it was it must have been a keyword of Tucker Carlson, Jew, and something else, and Israel. And then once you start getting keywords in there, I'm sure Facebook has some algorithm that says, uh-oh. Bike. Uh-oh. Look what they're talking about. And just shut you down. That has to be what, I mean, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense at all that they'd get banned that way. But anyhow, if you haven't, here's what I'm saying. Get in on the controversy. Get in there. Stirs things up. Go to the Rich Solutions Facebook page and join the Doc Thompson Healthy Lifestyle Challenge. You'll find the link to do it right there. And if you are ready to start making some healthy changes in your life, it's the support group to do all of that. And if you go to therichsolution.com, you'll find Gwen's story, and you'll find the supplements that are considered some of the best and at some of the best prices you will find anywhere. As Adam says, we're not making any money off the supplements. They're selling them so close to their cost. Don't take my word for it. Go see what you pay at therichsolution.com. Just click on supplements and then life extensions, and then price shop. Let me know if you find them at a better price. It's all at the richsolution.com. By the way, the way the bear, that's the way I was all day yesterday, pretty much. I could not climb off the couch to save my butt. Rocky with an eye says, post anything that links to anything remotely center right and they get you banned from Facebook. Doesn't matter what it is nowadays. That's true. And that's why that's true. That's true. And that's why we want you to go to MoJo50.com and click on MoJo TV. And if you are if you're watching us on Facebook, we generally get banned at some point. They just cut us off because we've played some piece of music that we have the
actually
rights
buy
to
the
play.
license for. Now, that's the thing with YouTube and Facebook is even if you buy the license to play the music, they are rebroadcasting your audio, so they don't have the license, so they don't do it.
Well, that'd be their problem, wouldn't it?
That would be their problem, which is why they cut you off.
Which is
it's odd. MoJo50TV.com will also get you there.
Yeah, I've given up on trying to figure out the whys of anything that happens with Facebook or Twitter or any of that because none of it makes any sense, really.
You know, there are people who spend their days trying to figure out the Facebook algorithms. And Facebook changes those things so often. I mean, quite honestly, there's algorithms for YouTube as well.
Oh, yeah.
Izzo has actually figured out some portion of those algorithms. Sent me a link to a video to watch. It's 45 minutes long. I'm about halfway through it now, and it's really got some pretty good ideas for monetization. I wish we knew how to do that kind of stuff.
How to monetize? How to avoid getting banned.
How to avoid getting banned or demonetized, if you will.
That would take, it kind of sucks all the fun out of it, doesn't it? I mean, if you go through all the steps of not getting banned, can you even do what you were initially trying to accomplish? I mean, don't they?
That's a good question.
So, I mean, why bother? I don't know. Brad Staggs flannel jacket said this must be a record missed bell day. I don't know. We'll find out from Leprechaun at the end, who, by the way, should be on. Is Leprechaun in the MeWe chat room this morning? Because, yep, there he is right there. So Leprechaun will make sure that we figure out.
Leprechaun was on the Whiskey Six, the off-track show on Sunday night. He read his Today in MoJo story. It was pretty fun. I love his voice.
Oh, Leprechaun.
Leprechaun has this rough, scruffy voice that actually plays pretty well. So we were honored to have these guys sitting in our studios. I'll be honest with you.
Except for that one.
To be able to sit on this side of the glass and see what, started off as a group of listeners turn into a radio show on MoJo 50. It was pretty cool.
It is. They're a unique bunch of people, except for that one guy. In St. Augustine, Florida, a pair of teens, they were stranded about 2 miles offshore. They apparently were in a boat that either capsized, the motor gave out, something. News reports 17-year-old Tyler Smith, 17-year-old Heather Brown were swimming. I'm sorry, they were swimming. They weren't in a boat. The strong currents pulled them out to sea.
There's no way this story's real.
You don't think so?
I just saw the title.
The Christ Church Academy students say they were holding on to each other. They were praying for God for help just before Captain Eric Wagner and his crew spotted them, pulled up in the boat, got the two teens out of the water, contacted the U.S. Coast Guard. So these two kids in the water praying for help. This boat pulls up.
Can you imagine the thoughts going through their mind when this boat pulls up, Brad?
You don't think it's true, huh?
No.
The boat.
I hope it's true.
The boat was called the Amen.
Holy
cow.
Cow.
There was no cow involved.
Wow.
If it is true, that's
wow.
Are you saying that maybe it was called the Amen?
No, I'm talking about if you ever needed a sign, here it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty amazing. Let's see. Do we want to do this? Yeah, why not?
What are you looking for?
Trying to decide if we were going to do the Odyssey Minute. I think it's a good time to do the Odyssey Minute right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's time for the Odyssey Minute.
And I was trying to decide which of these stories to do. I think I'll do this one. NASA has fit 265,000 galaxies into a single Hubble Legacy Field image. And it is absolutely amazing. They've assembled the most all-encompassing image of space ever created. They put together 16 years of data captured from the Hubble Space Telescope, according to a statement from NASA. Altogether, the composite is made up of almost 7,500 individual exposures. It's called the Hubble Legacy Field. It's a wide-angle view. It shows about 265,000 galaxies. And the thing about these, they date back from between 13 million and 500 million years old. I mean, look, if you're watching, if you're in the car or listening at home, go back and watch the video portion of this, because it is stunning. When you see this picture, it keeps pulling back, zooming out, and showing all of these different galaxies. It looks like the opening to Star Trek, if you can imagine that. All the stars, but in this case, these are galaxies that they are zooming out and showing. I mean, that's
crazy.
That's 265,000 of these galaxies. It is showing. It is stunning when you think about how large the universe is, and I know it's incomprehensible how big the universe is.
That's right.
That it's started to watch a show on Netflix called Room 41, I think, which I can't recommend. However, there was a scene in it where it's a philosophy class and the professor is talking to them about the reality of reality. And one kid says, what if we're, it's the molecule. It's what if we're a man, if we're a molecule in the fingernail of a giant thing. But what if we're a molecule in the dirt clod of a cosmic elephant the size of a universe, taking one step at a time. And it's, when you see pictures like this, it blows your mind, because it's just, you cannot possibly comprehend the size of this universe. And yet we get so mired in the stupid little things. I mean, it really, when you stop and think about it, we get mired.
When you think about how small in the big scheme of things we really are.
And the stuff we focus on as people, it's laughable when you get right down to it. The latest Hubble mosaic consists of about 30 times as many galaxies as previous deep fields did. The last one that they put together was in 2012. It included about 5,500 galaxies. And this one, 265,000 galaxies. The faintest and farthest galaxies are just 1/10,000,000th the brightness of what the human eye can see. Let me say that again. The faintest and farthest galaxies are just 1/10,000,000th the brightness of what the human eye can see. Woo!
Brad, I went down the rabbit hole on YouTube one day about light speed, the size of the universe, how long it takes light to travel, distances, and, some of the stars that we're looking at was light from those stars millions of years ago just now reached. I mean, it's...
Oh, yeah.
My mind, it's hard to think about the expanse.
That's just it.
It's there's nothing that you can compare it to, so it's hard to fathom.
Like you just said, the light that is in a lot of cases, the light that we're seeing, that's all that remains of the star that was. I mean, the star has long ago, millions of years, burned out, gone. There's nothing where that star was, and we are just now seeing the light traveling.
Well, and here's a story for you. So, we've talked about Voyager before, the spacecrafts that were launched back in the 70s, late 70s.
Yes.
So Voyager
2,
I think, is now out past, it's the farthest man-made object outside the...
Did it pass Uranus yet?
Oh, yeah, long ago. But here's the thing. They said it will still take 30,000 years to reach Alpha Centauri, which is the closest star to us.
I know. It's mind-blowing. It really is, which is... The space has always been fascinating, which is why we are so proud that we have the Odyssey network. If you go to odyssey1.com, ODYSY, that's the simplified version. That's how you learn how to spell Odyssey in public school.
ODYSY.
ODYSY. Odyssey1.com. That's our newest platform. And again, things are growing. Not just our weight.
Yeah, poor Russ. He hadn't heard from me in a week. I got to get back in touch with him.
Well, last week. I mean, he knows that last week was just a little crazy.
God bless him. He's been busting his butt. Thank you, Russ. Odyssey's looking and sounding great.
And I'm drinking out of my Odyssey coffee cup this morning. So, drinking, as a matter of fact, the Ron's sexual chocolate.
Sexual chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
Sexual chocolate.
You consider yourself a patriot?
Yeah, I do, actually.
94% of Republicans feel that they are patriots. 85% of Democrats feel like they are patriots. 90% of independents. 89% of men consider themselves patriots, while only 88% of women. That goes without saying. 79% of 18... somebody's going to make the sandwiches, by the way. 79% of 18 to 29-year-olds consider themselves patriots, and 90%. It's interesting. As you get older, the more people consider themselves to be patriots. It doesn't really matter what age you are. If you are a true patriot and you would like to show the world and your wallet that you are a patriot, go to patriotmobile.com. That's where you'll find America's only conservative cell phone company. They support conservative and libertarian causes, not things like Planned Parenthood. They do support the NRA. They do support other conservative and libertarian-leaning causes. So once you pay your bill each month, you can rest assured that it is not going to finance those progressive causes. Even their data plans have cool names, except one of them. There's the Allegiance, the Constitution, the Liberty, the Independence, the Freedom of Speech, and the Data-Only plan. I don't know if that's Data from Star Trek or not.
They could find one for Data Only.
It's just Data Only. You got Freedom of Speech, Allegiance, Constitution, Liberty, Independence, and Data Only. Go to patriotmobile.com and find out. You always use promo code MoJo to find out what kind of special deals you get. You can bring along your old phone and your old number. You can start fresh. You can start things fresh with a new number and a new phone. It's all up to you. But go to patriotmobile.com and find out exactly how you can make sure that you are part of the solution and not part of the problem. Smacking duck, not to depress. Not to depress anybody this early. But he tweeted a picture of it's a meme of the universe. Actually, it's probably the Milky Way. It says, "No lives matter. The universe doesn't care about you." You're so insignificant. I think it's the government's the same way. Stinky full resolution download. Wow. Of the Hubble of that image. The full resolution download of that image of those galaxies is 1.19 gigabytes. That's the single image. That's the one image that they put together of all the images. That's huge. Wow. DMXDM, when you consider the vast expanse of the universe, how can you believe that we are only here because of chance? Well, technically, the bigger the thing gets, the chance comes in. That hurts my head. It's your Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. Mojo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Fears of an all-out U.S.-China trade war taking a heavy toll on world financial markets, and Wall Street is not immune. Stock futures sharply lower this morning after President Trump threatened higher tariffs on Chinese goods. In a pointed message to Iran, the United States has dispatched the USS Lincoln Carrier Strike Group and related military assets to the Middle East. White House National Security Advisor John Bolton says while the U.S. does not seek war with Iran, it will respond to any attack on its interests. Things have quieted down between Israel and Hamas after 2 days of intense fighting between the two sides.
The violence seemed to peter out in the early hours of Monday morning. For the moment, at least, there are no more sirens sounding across southern Israel as there have been regularly over the past couple of days. And in Gaza, while there are still Israeli drones circling overhead, there have been no further Israeli airstrikes.
The BBC's Yolanda Nell in Jerusalem. 41 bodies, 2 flight recorders now recovered from the wreckage of a Russian airliner that crashed and burst into flames in Moscow. President Trump now says Special Counsel Robert Mueller should not go before Congress.
His tweet came 2 days after the president said he didn't know if Mueller should testify and that he'd leave it up to the attorney general. The president's not indicating whether he'd block an appearance by Mueller, who is a Justice Department employee. Democrats hope Mueller will testify next week.
Correspondent Sagar Meghani. Former Trump attorney Michael Cohen reports to prison today, scheduled to begin serving a 3-year sentence for crimes including campaign finance violations. Cohen reports to a minimum security federal prison at Otisville, about 70 miles northwest of New York City. The place is a haven for white-collar criminals. On Wall Street right now, Dow futures are down 472 points. S&P futures off 47. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes, Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
Bottom line, if you want to lose weight, go to riduzone.com. That's R-I-D-U zone.com. Riduzone has helped countless people lose weight, and they can help you too by boosting your metabolism and making you feel a little bit fuller naturally. Riduzone.com.
A former Democratic National Committee member told Politico on Monday that he will become National Senior Advisor to the Draft Beto campaign. That sounds like a horrible beer, probably a Pilsner.
The Defenders with Stephen Airy, tonight at 9.
MoJo 50.
Dr. Ken Brown here, host of Gut Check Project with my co-host Eric Rieger. Eric, we've been seeing MoJo guys over there and over here at Spoonie talk about Atrantil for bloating. I've seen in my practice that Atrantil is a whole lot more than just a bloating product.
Yes, it does a whole lot more than just fix bloating because of the polyphenols that you find in Atrantil.
You're exactly right. The polyphenols are those molecules that we find in the Mediterranean diet. It makes vegetables and fruits very colorful. What are some of the things that these polyphenols do, Eric?
These polyphenols can actually stop inflammation. They can help you have more energy. They can help you with anti-aging. And polyphenols are great for athletes.
It sounds like it's going to help a whole lot more people than just bloating. Tell me how everybody should be taking Atrantil.
If you want to dose Atrantil, it's 2 capsules 3 times a day, basically with your meals. But if you aren't bloated and you just want that polyphenol intake every day, 2 to 3 capsules a day will work for you.
Go to lovemytummy.com/mojo.
If we weren't so bad.
To puppy rape.
I like to cuss. Do I want to keep my penis?
Cat wants some black titties.
We wouldn't be so good. MoJo 50.
The mothership has landed.
Brad Staggs Flannel Jacket. It's 8 o'clock. Does this mean the Brandon Morse is coming on? Texas Lloyd D, can you just take over? Oh, she's somewhere she's melted into a couch.
Wait, what?
Oh, it's
they want Lori D over me?
No, it's they weren't sure that you were here, so.
Oh.
You missed all the big festivities on Friday and Saturday night.
Dude, I tried to make it, man, but a man's got to do.
Or as we like to call them, the reputation slayers.
The reputation. No, I was watching the live feed. Whoever did the live feed for the eulogy, thank you very much. That was very nice.
Yeah, Stephen Airy did that for us. He was using the MeVo here. So
yeah,
it
worked
out well.
I was really pleased with that. I got to watch, even though I couldn't be there, but Jason was there.
Yeah, the brown boy came upon. He came upon a midnight clear.
He said that many of you are missing him apparently, and that you love me and Jason.
Yes,
together.
He needs to. I mean, he's welcome anytime. I told him anytime you want to walk in here, get your butt in here.
That's what I've been telling him. But I'm happy to hear that. But Hillary Kennedy was there. Carrie Malinek was there.
Hillary Kennedy. Let me just say, when Hillary she had a baby 6 months ago.
Yeah,
I hate her.
I do too, man.
She looks like $1 million. She doesn't look like she looks like she must have had a surrogate carry the child.
That's what I think.
She doesn't look.
Aren't you like sick and tired of her chippy attitude and really her healthy demeanor and all that crap?
She's always
so
happy.
Sick of it.
She's always like the perfect little.
I know.
It's like the Malinaks, the perfect little American family.
I'm her husband Jeff is one of my best buddies, and I got to tell you, his attitude all the time, like I'm just sick of it. I'm tired of it. He comes in, he's like, "Hey guys, how's it going? Oh man, everything's great. You guys want to grab a drink?" I'm like, dude, I'm
too much energy. Carrie did she read the eulogy that Stunt Brain wrote for Doc on Friday night at the celebration of life that we all sat down basically, and just people got to come up and just tell stories about Doc and have just kind of remembering him. And so I walk up there, and Carrie's standing up on the little stage that we had set up, and I gave her a hug, and then she starts crying. And it's I said, you are supposed to be the rock here. I'm counting on you. I don't know. Because
but she made it through the eulogy just fine.
Yes,
she is a highly trained professional.
Yeah.
Everybody else was bawling.
She is the Reverend Mother.
Yep.
And so I figured
Sister Malinak.
I really did believe that I'd get up there and just be able to get right through it. And man, you sit down, you start talking about it. It's like everything locks up. Your vocal cords literally just lock up.
Yeah.
It was that was good. It was like I guess what it was that was really the closure, because the Jackhole Nation hadn't had a chance to really, a lot of them. Some of them made it to the funeral, the world's most expensive funeral to get to. I don't think that there could have been a more. And it's in Ohio, but you would have thought that we'd have flown to the Fiji Islands. The cost of the flights and everything, it was just, it's like, man, we can go to Ohio to go to a funeral, or we can go to Fiji. We should have gone to Fiji. It was just, man, that was expensive.
I went to Vegas, and I got to tell you, it was probably just as expensive.
Yeah, it's money spent in a number of ways, but it was a good tribute on Friday night, and then on Saturday they hit Fort Worth. So the sirens and all of that, that was the Jackhole Nation hitting the bars in Fort Worth and in the stockyards. And then on Saturday night it was it was more bars in Fort Worth is what it was on Saturday night. So it was quite the celebration of Doc's life. Today he would have, of course, been the big 4-0. I'm just going to go with it.
Just go with it.
He kept telling everybody. So let's just go. He's going to be a big
happy
4-0.
birthday, Doc Thompson.
Wherever you are. And, so it was...
two of my favorite pictures that have ended up on Facebook for the weekend.
With clothing.
Yeah. One of them is Larky Farkin sitting on the steer in the stockyards. It's hilarious. Because that steer's like 400 times the size of him. And then there's a picture of Whiskey Six laying in the middle of the road.
Okay, I never did. I never got the full story on that. They were trying to tell me on Saturday night why it was that he was laying in the middle of the road. What was it?
I don't know why. I just thought I thought it was a great pick.
Alcohol. I heard there might have been a woman involved and there might have been alcohol involved. But
I don't know about alcohol being involved, guys. I feel like
definitely a woman. He was laying in the middle of the street, and one of the reasons that went out on Saturday night to see the guys was to make sure that Whiskey got his had a jacket that was found in the back of Doc's car. It was it was like you call them a pea coat?
Oh.
The long wool jacket.
What color?
Gray.
Oh, okay.
So it was, and it looked like it had been drugged behind a car on a gravel parking lot somewhere. The lining of this thing was just shredded, but it just so happened that Whiskey is the same size as Doc was. So everything that fit Doc fits Whiskey, and
so he's just.
Was it like handing him a gold bar, Brad?
Yeah, I wouldn't have. There would have been no difference if I'd handed him a truck. Here's the keys to a brand new Mercedes. There were tears in his eyes. He was so grateful for this jacket.
Yeah.
He said he probably wouldn't. I said, you're going to have the lining replaced because this thing's a piece of crap. I won't even do that. Yeah, you will. I would
replace the lining and wear that around.
I would say,
so
it's great.
Talk about the clothes that were hanging out here, Brad.
Oh, yeah. A bunch of Doc's clothes. We had them out here, and because we were capitalists, we sold them.
Damn right.
Well, I mean, they were donated to us by Una.
Yeah.
And and then we took donations for them.
We didn't really tell you.
It was brilliant, actually.
Yeah.
People were thrilled to be rifling through these clothes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Some of them unwashed. They still smelled like him.
Of course.
And actually, I found some more, and there are some left. And for people who weren't able to get here, because honestly, there's a lot of the Jackhole Nation that doesn't get to, either doesn't tweet, they just listen, and they aren't out, and they don't get to come to the events. So I'm going to put some of these on the eBay
There you go.
On the eBay. And just at a buy it now price, so that if you weren't here, you can buy some of these things, and we'll get those up there hopefully in the next week or so. And some of his iconic shirts still have those, so we held some in reserve. Let's just put it that way.
That's I'm happy that
we're capitalists.
I'm happy to hear that MoJoCon kicked off and went so smoothly, and
only 4 reputations.
Only
were
4.
ruined.
I personally want to say thank you guys so much for coming down, and seriously, all of you are just lovely people. Like
except that one guy.
Except for that one guy. And no, I got along with you all so well. Thank you guys so much. You guys seriously make
you
this
got
show.
along with him so well?
I did.
Did you expect not to get along with him?
Oh no, I expected to hate everybody because I do hate everybody. You know, no, but I like them. No, and no, you guys make this so much richer and so much more worth it. And
Don't tell them. Don't tell them.
I
You
love
tell
you
them things
guys.
like that, and they'll give them a big head.
And
we had to clean up after them
Brad-
too. It's like, jeez. By the way,
Brad's not admitting it, but he feels the same way.
I told him in person. I don't know if you can still get it delivered in time for Mother's Day, but if you go to MoJoWildRice.com, you'll find the Mother's Day Gift Pack 2019. It's not like giving your mom a Ferrari. It's better because she can't wreck the Mother's Day. Well, I guess she technically could, but she's not gonna. And plus, if you give it to her, you can, and if you're in the same town, you can hopefully reap the rewards and the benefits of the goodies that are in the Mother's Day gift pack. So go to MoJoWildRice.com. Just scroll down a little bit below the fold. You'll find Mother's Day gift pack 2019 right there. It's $46.75. Use promo code MOM10. I think that still works. You'll save 10%. And make mom happy. May not get there by Mother's Day because you waited this damn long, you fool. But it'll still make her happy. MoJoWildRice.com.
We've scoured news platforms and agencies around the globe for today's most profound news headlines. Presenting them now, here's Brad Staggs.
Nope. Mike. Not me.
Mike. So, I've got 5 headlines in front of me. One of them is a lie. And you gotta tell me which one.
That was a weak ass attempt.
I gave up midway.
I'm not sure that
I gave up midway.
Dude, I saw the wheels turning. And
I was like,
just nothing was happening.
I was like, what can I rhyme with me?
You should try thinking of those like an hour beforehand.
Maybe. It's more fun to try to make up on the spot and fail spectacularly.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, you're good at that.
Thanks, Brad. He is mean today. Good Lord, dude.
You throw a softball across home plate like that and expect no one to swing at it? What? Okay, how long you worked here?
All right, 5 headlines. All right, one of them is fake, and you got to figure out which one. Don't cheat. Here we go. Artificial intelligence creates never-ending death metal. If you can't get enough of death metal, I mean, who doesn't?
And who can't, right?
Exactly. You're in luck. The YouTube channel DataBots generates a live stream of brand new death metal music 24/7 using artificial intelligence. The stream, created by music technologists CJ Carr and Zach Zukowski, has been running non-stop since 24th of March. In that time, it has been continuously creating new music in a death metal style without any human input.
Which is pretty much the way death metal sounds anyway.
Pretty much. I'm not a huge death metal fan. By the way, I completely forgot about this. 5 headlines I have for you. Only one of them is untrue. Sort the facts from the descriptions and find one that is a fiction. That's from one of the fans. They actually wrote me some lines. Forgot about that.
So wait, you had them doing your work for you?
No, they wanted to contribute. They like
actually genius, though. I was going to compliment you on the fact you got somebody else to do the work.
Works out.
I'm good with that. These are good cookies, by the way.
Who are they from?
Raider bought them on.
Good old Raider, man.
I know. He's just
good old Raider. Woman aboard a plane that skidded into a river says the landing didn't feel right. A civilian defense attorney aboard the military-chartered Boeing 737 that skidded into a Florida river said the landing, quote, didn't feel right. Cheryl Borman spoke to CNN's Dawn Lemon as she waited with the rest of the passengers and passengers rescued following the incident. 7 crew members and 136 passengers were on the plane flying from Naval Station Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, into Naval Air Station Jacksonville. There were no fatalities, but the Jacksonville Fire Rescue and 21 people were taken to local hospitals. Borman described the scene of fear, confusion, and people coming together to help one another. The plane arrived 4 hours late.
Wait, how did it... Wait, if it landed in a river, how did...
Yeah.
I mean, they got out of the river and then
They apparently just like, it's like that ending of Cool Runnings. Like they all just picked it up, and they just carried it on their shoulders.
I mean, technically, if it landed in the river, did it ever get there? They're still waiting on it.
Apparently, it got there 4 hours late.
Okay.
Oh, those damn airlines, they can never arrive on time.
Right.
Minstrel-themed cocktail causing controversy at Ohio bar.
How I love you. How I love you.
Thousands of bars hope to catch on big.
Wait a minute, did you say menstrual or minstrel?
Menstrual.
Oh, menstrual. That's completely different. How I love you. How I love you.
No, as in lady parts.
Gotcha. There's a big difference between menstrual and minstrel.
Thousands of bars hope to catch on big with new drink inventions, but one Ohio establishment thinks they found their way to stand out. The bar is getting notoriety for their latest cocktail served with a tampon inside. Wow. We have tequila, triple sec.
Wow.
A random flavor of Truly, and then we have the berries.
Ron, get me those crickets. I'd rather eat those crickets again.
Kruger says she likes to get creative when it comes to cocktails, and her latest creation called, quote, Even Can't Literally, is no exception. It's a creation called Even Can't Literally.
That is 100%. That's the name of the drink?
That is a millennial invention right there, boy. Although the popular establishment is drawing large crowds, it is also drawing fire from people on social media at her latest creation called, quote, Even Can't Literally.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. The drink is a berry margarita that embodies the menstrual cycle, complete with a tampon applicator garnish. Holy crap, you guys, really? This is feminism gone too far. One of those little moments. Why you doing that?
Wow.
Maggots will be added to sausage. Dang.
Okay.
Oh. One hot dog, please. Heavy on the maggots. Food scientists at the University of Queensland in Brisbane, Australia, are incorporating insects such as maggots and locusts. That is biblical, y'all. Into a range of specialty foods, including sausage, as well as formulating sustainable insect-based feeds for their livestock themselves. Hoffman says conventional livestock production will soon be unable to meet global demand for meat, so other fillers and alternatives will be needed to supplement the food supply with sufficient protein sources. Quote, an overpopulated world is going to struggle to find enough protein unless people are willing to open their minds and stomachs to a much broader notion of food. Oh, man.
Maggots are protein, right?
Maggots, crickets, and locusts, bro. That's a heavy, heavy, heavy source of protein.
Yep, I'm going to starve to death.
We're all dead now.
Yep.
Become a vegetarian.
That's right. I'm going vegan. Speaking of being vegan, diners eating the new Impossible Burger at Burger King doused with beet juice by protesters.
Say that again? What?
Diners eating the Impossible Burgers doused with beet juice.
Okay.
By protesters.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, the people that were eating the Impossible Burgers got beet juice thrown on them.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
All right.
Their meals disrupted by protesters who stormed the restaurant with buckets full of viscous red fluid. Diners eating plant-based Impossible Whoppers at the local Burger King in St. Louis were reportedly horrified Friday when a group of people wearing black walked in and doused a group of patrons with buckets of beet juice. Police arrived and later got the story. Apparently, the beet bearing group was actually victims of protesters who had previously doused them in blood at a barbecue restaurant they owned in downtown St. Louis. The people then they threw beet juice on were the vegan protesters who had actually advertised their support for their Impossible Burger and had invited vegans to join them in the support of Burger King and their vegan option. The anti-vegan protesters bore signs that read like, plants are for toppings and stop eating food's food.
Okay,
That's
now,
genius. That's genius, guys.
See, the Impossible Burger, we saw that at the restaurant, or at the the restaurant show last year.
Mm-hmm.
The Impossible Burger was right across from our booth.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
Okay.
and it was.
Where was that at?
Remember the NR? Yeah, the NRA, the National Restaurant Association. Remember the?
Oh no, I wasn't at that one.
You didn't go?
Not the NRA. You and Doc and Patrick went. And Tom.
And Tom.
Yeah.
I thought you were there.
No.
Who was I sleeping with then?
It was not me.
Damn it.
I think it was Doc.
Wow. Oof. Boy, I feel guilty now. I think I cheated on you, Ron. Anyway, the Impossible Burger booth was right there across from us, and it was
Now, is this the burger that looks like a burger,
Yes,
but it's actually
right.
all
Yeah.
vegetarian?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, it tastes really good. If you didn't know, you wouldn't know. But apparently, those vegans eating it, they got doused. Doused with beet juice.
Doused with beet juice.
May the blood of 1,000 beets.
Don't mess with meat eaters, man. We're vindictive. We'll come at you.
Yeah.
Buckets. It's actually a genius idea.
Yeah, it is. Actually,
I like that idea because I mean, vegan protesters, man, throwing blood everywhere. Why are you throwing blood everywhere?
Because it's gross.
Yeah, but it's like you won't eat it, but you will just throw it on the ground, or put it on somebody and they can just wash it off later. That's ridiculous.
Plus, it's sticky.
Yeah, and it smells bad. All right, those are your 5 headlines.
All right.
Which one is it? Artificial intelligence creates never-ending death metal. Boeing 737 skidded into a river, and the pilot was like, "Man, I don't think that one felt right. I don't know if that worked that well." Menstrual-themed cocktails in Ohio. Get ready to eat maggots because they're coming into your sausage. Ding-a-ding-ding. And vegan protesters get theirs. At the Burger King. Which one is fake? But first, Brad Staggs.
Thank you, Ron, first of all, for finding my coffee cup because I thought it had disappeared.
Yeah, I'm not sure how
MoJo
good the coffie was that was still in it because it was laying in the floor back
It was a little icy cold back
I bet
there,
it was.
At least found the coffee cup. But that's the problem. I have a couple of coffee cups now, so it doesn't matter which one I put it in. The Odyssey cup happens to be larger, so I can drink more of Ron's Sexual Chocolate, which is the flavor that we have brewed this morning in the MoJo 50 kitchen, the Spoonie Kitchen at MoJo 50. I guess it would be called. But if you go to AmericanPrideRoasters.com, you'll find all of the tasty varieties of American Pride Roasters coffee, and there are a slew of them. The Brandon Morse's Code Monkey Bread Blend. That's what... Oh, okay. Hang on. I figured out why it screwed me up. What's it called?
The Monkey Bread Blend.
Okay, that on the website, it does not say bread. That's what messed me up.
Oh, really?
Yes. It says Brandon Morse's Code Monkey Blend.
Yeah.
Look at the screen and take this full screen so that I can prove that I was not crazy. It does not say bread. That's what messed me up.
DM threw you a curveball.
Okay, so that time
trying to make you look like a fool.
That
Brad.
time it worked.
Take that.
That time I thought I was wrong.
Brandon Morse's Code Monkey Bread Blend is what it says on the package.
Yes, and it says it down in the body of the store. All this time he was trying to make me think I was crazy.
I wonder if the word bread is actually supposed to be in that.
Yeah, because
it's monkey bread.
Monkey bread is the thing.
Is monkey bread?
You've never had monkey bread?
No.
What are you, a communist? Monkey bread is absolutely fabulous.
Do you hate monkeys and/or bread?
Wow.
No, I don't actually.
So now we have the mystery solved. Now I know why I was screwing up, and it's DM's fault.
Brad is innocent of all charges.
Yes. AmericanPrideRoasters.com is where you need to be. All right. I'm Ron, which one are you going with?
Well, okay, so the last two stories, the maggots, is probably the one I'm going to go with.
Maggots?
Yeah, the maggots in the sausage.
Okay.
Because quite honestly, the whole tampon drink
sounds so disgusting. It should be real, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to piggyback on you. I'm going with the maggot hot dogs.
Maggot hot dog.
There's maggot hot dogs. Some people believe that the airplane story is fake. A lot of people believe that the vegan story is fake. It's kind of all over the place.
It's funny because Brad Staggs flannel jacket In one tweet, the first headline is fake, and in the second one, the last headline is fake. So obviously, the flannel jacket doesn't have any clue. No clue. All right, you ready?
Hit it. Got you both.
Boom.
What is it?
What is it?
It is the Beats. The Beats is fake.
Oh.
Hey, it's Lori D.
I am not eating maggots in my sausage.
It's a thing. They say that apparently overpopulation, the cows aren't going to be able to keep up with us.
Hey, time out.
Not only that,
For $10,000, would you eat maggots in the sausage?
Ooh, no, we're talking about money, right?
Yeah, now we're talking about monetary gain.
$10,000.
Probably. Yeah.
Shit, I started too high.
Yeah,
dude.
you started too high.
Christ. I should have started at $20.
Here's the thing, though. I know that the plane sliding off the end of the runway is true. That's a story that's been there all weekend.
I know.
Well, the thing would have been like the pilot kind of with I would say, a very British reaction of, it didn't feel right.
It didn't feel
right.
No, that was that was a military charter.
Yeah.
A 21. Let's see. Nobody was killed on that one, though.
No,
everybody was landed in the river.
No, the one everybody was killed on this weekend was the Russian
Aeroflot.
explosion.
Yeah.
And that was sad because they actually increased that number from 13 to like 40.
Yeah, I woke up this morning to that Fox News alert. I was like, damn.
Well, this took a dark turn, didn't it? Thanks for that. Well, you know what was on last night?
Game of Thrones.
Yeah! Let's talk about it.
Oh, I don't know. You sure you don't want to talk about Bill and Hillary?
You're going to have to talk. I didn't even know what happened.
One or the other. You didn't see it last night?
No.
Oh, jeez. Your Daily Mojo continues next.
A free exchange of ideas. Mojo 50.
Take the pain out of ordering your diabetic testing supplies with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to you when you need them. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive is so convinced that you'll love their service, they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code DOC, D-O-C, at checkout. Diathrive.com. That's D-I-A, thrive.com.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
800-218-6473. 800-218-6473. 800-218-6473. That's 800-218-6473.
Hey, it's Adrian Slade. With fake news from news channels that were once even slightly trustworthy and a social media that's guiding you by the hand like a child, controlling what they call conversational health and filtering out stories that someone else deems credible to you, where do you go for unadulterated libertarian and conservative discussion? How about right here on the Adrian Slade Show, destroying the lies and dismantling the narratives, one story at a time. Unfiltered conversations only on MoJo 50. Live free.
The Daily Mojo.
Man, ticket prices have plunged. If you, shoot. You're too late. You're a day late and a dollar short. The Bill and Hillary Clinton speaking tour, we're going for as little as $20 on the secondary market.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, they started at $1,785.
Yeah.
And that was when they were first announced back in November. Some of the tickets at the event that they did in L.A. on, was it Saturday? Saturday night. They went for $2.
Oh, no.
I mean, I'm not saying that's a steep discount, but that's a steep discount. $1,785 if you bought early. Sucker.
Yeah, seriously.
Although I would have gone for $2. I would have gone.
I would have totally gone for $2.
I would have loved to have watched that.
This is actually a problem that has been happening since apparently December of last year, because Maureen Dowd decided that she was going to go watch one.
Right.
And at the time, they were like renting out arenas.
Yes.
To be like, yeah, all these people are going to come and watch the Clintons talk, and then like no one shows up.
Yeah.
And she actually wrote, this is from her from the New York Times. I'm looking around Scotiabank Arena, the home of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it's a depressing sight. It's a 2 for the price of 1 and half the arena. The hockey rink is half curtained off. But even with that, organizers are scrambling at the last minute to cordon off most sections behind the thick black curtains. They say due to lack of sales. I paid $177 weeks in advance. I passed on the pricey meet and greet option. On the day of the event, some unsold tickets were slashed to single digits.
Yep.
I get reassigned to another section as the Clintons' audience space shrinks. But even with all the hurting, I'm still looking at large swaths of empty seats. And I cringe at the thought of the Clintons. We'll look out and see that too.
$2 a ticket.
Yeah.
$2 a ticket Saturday. $2.
$2.
I would have sprung for 5 of us to go.
There are a bunch of homeless people who could afford to go see the Clintons right now.
That would have been fun.
Yeah.
Remember what she said back in October of 2016, and I quote, "Every time Donald thinks that things aren't going in his direction, he claims whatever it is rigged against him. That is not the way our democracy works. We've been around for 240 years. We've had free and fair elections. We've accepted the outcomes when we may not have liked them. He is denigrating. He's talking down our democracy, and I, for one, am appalled." End quote. That was what she said in 2016 on Saturday night.
What did she say on Saturday night, Brad?
Quote, "You can run the best campaign. You can even become the nominee, and you can have the election stolen from you." End quote. End quote.
Oh, life comes at you fast, Hill Dog.
Man, it certainly does.
Oh my gosh.
So if you missed the great tour, wait for the DVD. The DVD will be available for $275.
Here's the thing. She did not have the best campaign.
No.
She had a horrible campaign.
Yes.
Her campaign was focused on division, whereas, Donald Trump, his did have division in it, but he was also like, look, here's a problem. We can make this much better. I'm going to focus on jobs and like getting our nation back in order, economically and all that stuff. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton was like, yeah, free stuff and white people are bad.
Yeah.
So, woo! Dude, that's not a good campaign.
And yes, check my purse. I have hot sauce.
That hot sauce.
That's
damn hot
still
sauce,
the
man.
weirdest thing I think I've ever probably heard. All right, so this is your 10-second warning. And for those of you who hate Game of Thrones, this is your go listen to Pat warning. In 10, 9, 8. So there are going to be a couple spoilers here. So
spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
So that you got all the time you need right there. Last night,
yes.
Game of Thrones.
Crap.
Man.
Did you watch it, Brandon?
Oh, I watched it.
Oh, man.
It might have been one of the better episodes of the season. And you know what? You guys go ahead. I want to hear your thoughts.
I liked it. What's your thoughts?
Well, so here's the thing. So it started off in a dark place.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then because this one particularly had a lot of ebb and flow in it.
Yep.
So it started off dark. It got more jubilant, I guess you could say, during the feast.
Scene. Yeah.
Well, there's only one way to go when you start off that dark.
Yeah.
I mean, we start off all the funeral pyres.
And then everything just went right back downhill.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, the last 10 minutes of that film or of that show last night.
Whew, I was on the edge of my seat.
Oh,
I thought so I thought they were going to push Miss and Die off.
Yeah, me too.
I thought Missandei. I never do pronounce the names right.
Missandei. I thought they were going to push her off too, but I'm going to tell you, Tyrion was my little hero last night.
Dude, yeah.
He's like, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But let's try this.
Yeah.
And that did not work.
His blow off of Qyburn.
Oh, yeah.
Was because, Qyburn was just, yapping.
He's a doofus.
And he was like, all right, screw this. And he just walks
He just walks past
and
him.
I was like, perfect Tyrion right there.
So the setup is that you had this was closer to the end of the show. You had a contingent of Daenerys's Unsullied standing there, and you had Tyrion, and you had this.
That wasn't the last of the Unsullied?
Probably not, no. But this was the contingent that went ahead of everyone else. And it was Daenerys, Tyrion, and what's his name? The bald guy?
Oh, Varys.
Varys.
Grey Worm.
Yeah. And they were standing there.
The soldier. Yeah, Grey Worm. Grey Worm.
Yeah. Oh, no, Grey Worm, but Grey Worm is the soldier. He was standing there with him, but Varys was there too. And so the two hands of the queens walked to the middle. I mean, this contingent was standing outside the walls of what's the city?
King's Landing.
King's Landing, thank you. And the two hands of the queens met in the middle. And like you said, Tyrion was talking to him and then just decided, okay, this isn't.
Screw this guy.
So
I'm going to go address my sister directly.
If all of those, if all of the bowmen had shot at Tyrion, could he have outrun the arrows?
No,
he would have died.
And that's one of the reasons I was on the tip. And I mean, because like
I fully expected when she put her hand up.
Yep.
That little fellow was about to die.
And I was like, they were going to kill off Tyrion, and they are going to that's going to be the big draw because if they killed off Tyrion, my thinking was, then everyone could not wait for the battle.
Wait a minute. What if he ends up sitting in the Iron Throne?
I thought about it.
What if Tyrion ends up the king?
I don't know. You've got three people. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 people who could vie for that throne.
Oh, for sure.
Jon Snow doesn't want it.
Well, Jon Snow doesn't want it.
But the secret's out now that he's
that
he's Aegon.
Yes.
He's Aegon Targaryen, and
Sansa let me down last night.
And he's sleeping with his aunt.
Yeah,
Sansa let me down last night.
So Ned Stark keeps this secret for like 18, 20 years. Yeah. Sansa can't keep it for 24 hours.
No,
Women, man.
And she does not like Dany.
No.
She doesn't like Dany even a little bit.
Yeah.
But she could be there. I was reading in the New York Post, actually, that she could actually be the one who ends up sitting on the throne.
Sansa?
Because remember, because when Cersei went to the witch when she was younger, and the witch told her that, remember, you're going to be queen until a younger, prettier one comes along to cast you down from all that you hold dear.
Mm-hmm. Well, it could be anyone.
It could be Dany.
It could be Dany. It could be Sansa.
Dany's too obvious. She's not going to be the queen.
It could be Arya.
It's not going to happen.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Arya's let down of the new Lord of
Lord of Light.
Oh, please!
No.
Did anyone actually think she was going to say yes when he proposed?
Dany made him the Lord of
not River Run. The Stormlands.
Yes, that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. He was. God, I can't remember all these names now that I'm.
I know. See, they're all. If they just why didn't they just go with Bob?
What was his name?
Gendry.
He's no longer Gendry now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he's Gendry Baratheon,
so Dany made him the Lord. That was one of the jubilant times.
Yeah.
There. But the thing is that when he knelt down, I went, "Oh crap!"
Yep.
No, why was she going to say yes?
I knew Arya was not going to go with that.
Here's the funny part. The other thing, though, that I did notice is I feel like and Tyrion mentioned this earlier, because as we were watching it, I kind of turned to my fiance and I was like, yeah, that was a political move on Dany's part. She's like, no, she's just being nice. She's being no. She's gathering allies is what she's doing. She makes him the Lord of Storm's End.
Yeah.
And and even Tyrion mentioned it later on.
Well, you can see, look, Emilia Clarke does really, really well with her acting.
Yeah.
And so you could see the different thought processes that she was having. And Varys was watching her. Varys was like, oh, yeah. And he is not a fan, I have to tell you.
She didn't like the fact that everybody was hanging around Jon Snow and loving on him for being the hero. In the beginning there, because no one was hanging around her. She was like the ugly girl standing in the corner, which is ironic because she's pretty.
Well, and quite honestly, you saw this coming. I mean,
of course,
this has been telegraphed for 2 or 3 episodes now.
Here's something that I want to bring up. It's very interesting that because there are two people there who saw what her father became, and Varys is watching her become her father. Yep. And that's why, like, that look on his face and, like, he's now kind of questioning his loyalties. Like, maybe he actually thinks Jon Snow should be the guy to rule everything, and he's kind of, like, separating himself from Dany now, and you've got Tyrion, who has no idea. He wasn't around for that. The only other person who's seen it is Jaime Lannister. And now everyone's mad about Jaime Lannister going off to defend his sister. I don't think he's doing that.
Which
you think he'll be the one that ultimately takes care
I think
of
he
that.
is. I think he's the Valonqar, or like the guy prophesied to kill Cersei by the witch, the brother with the golden hand.
Yeah.
It's either him or Tyrion. Tyrion also is a hand, of course, but his is silver. I don't know. But
so you think that he's not going back to fight with her, but fight against her?
Oh, for sure, because he was 100% ready to sit this one out in Winterfell, and then she kills a dragon, and Missandei dead or whatever, and so now he's like, he knows exactly what's going to happen. He knows exactly what's going to happen. Daenerys is going to burn the city to the ground. So he's going to get there because he's seen stuff like this happen before. Remember, he used to be captain of the Kingsguard.
Right.
He knows what's going to happen. So I think that he's going off to kill Cersei because he is the Kingslayer.
Yeah.
He's going to kill Cersei, and as he's prophesied to do so, to stop the carnage.
He's not the Queen Slayer.
Did you see the coffee cup, Brandon?
No, which one?
So, and somebody texted it to me, but I had read it earlier this morning.
Mm-hmm.
But it says about 17 minutes into the episode.
Oh, the coffee cup. Yeah. Okay.
It was a to-go coffee cup sitting right behind John on the table when they're all gathered around him at the feast. Yeah, it was a to-go coffee cup with a lid. No joke.
How did that? The only way that possibly that was left in there intentionally. That was left in there, and there is no way that got past every producer, every editor. No way. Because when you're editing those shows, you're sitting there watching it back and forth.
There's a picture of Daenerys looking all pissed off with the coffee cup in front of her.
Yep.
Like, from the screenshot of the show, and it just says, what the? They spelled it Daenerys.
Wow.
Starbucks.
That's beautiful.
Oh, it's great. I want to talk about
beautiful.
two things I didn't like about the show. The two things that pissed me off.
The beginning and the ending.
Right. For one, Ghost, that's all he gets? You were off. I can't hear you.
Yes, that seems to be all he gets.
The wolf, that's all he gets. Yeah. He sat there and he fight and bled for Jon Snow. Yep. He was there through all of his worst moments.
Right.
Even when he died and came back to life, he was right there. And it's just like, yeah, he'll be happy. He doesn't even pet the damn dog. What the hell, man? I felt like
he just looks at him. The dog goes,
yeah,
and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Is that dog real, first of all, or is that CG?
No, that's real.
Okay. Half the time it looks CG.
Yeah, it's a huge.
Yeah.
Okay. But I will tell you. Well, I'm going to ask you this because I know you've still got the second thing. What is that the last time we see Samwell or Giantsbane?
Probably.
I think maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How would we know? We haven't seen the rest of the episode.
No,
yet.
My question was, do you think that's the last time we'll see them?
Yeah. I mean, they have to. That's their goodbye.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, they're like Arya and they come swooping in at the last minute and he kills Cersei.
Maybe she's gonna pull that king.
Yes, what a Samwell at the last second.
Swing
in, right in the eyeball.
God, that would be hysterical.
That would be funny.
That would be hysterical. Oh my God.
Okay, nobody saw that coming.
Yeah, no kidding.
The hero of King's Landing.
No, it'll be Gilly. What's his wife's name? Gilly?
Gilly.
Yeah,
it'll be her.
Her coming in. What was your second thing that you hated?
Oh, yeah. So, okay. Another dragon's gone.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Why do you hate that? That's war.
Okay, no. Here's why I hate it. I can understand that another dragon dying, because that would set her off. That would set Dany off. That's her kid.
Right.
All right? But what bothers me is how he died. They're flying through the air, and from the air, they don't see a whole bunch of ships stationed out there. And I'm sorry, 3 perfect shots?
Yeah,
what?
they nailed him right. I mean, all of them.
All of them, all
seconds.
3.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's like,
those are some kick-ass crossbows too.
And I'm thinking, wow, you had a 50-50 chance.
Yeah. I'm sorry. That to me is unbelievable. Like, that pissed me off.
Why didn't she, as riding the other dragon, take a hard to starboard, and then a hard to port, and then light them up? I mean, you're riding a flamethrower.
Yeah, and then it takes them a while to move them. So just circle around to the back.
Right, yeah.
And torch them. And you actually saw him getting really nervous at first. She's like,
But
then she peels off. And then they take their crossbows off of this guy and toward the other ships. Now's your opportunity.
Right, to come flying it, which I thought they were going to do that.
I'm sorry, the battle planning in this episode and the last one is just horrific. I am
The writers are like, they'll never know.
Yeah.
Well, here's what happened: is half of the graphic artists had to go to work on some other show, so now they only have to draw one
There is
dragon. Yeah, that's all.
But watching Tyrion run across that ship's deck with those freaking arrows coming.
Dude, I didn't realize how much I cared for Tyrion until this episode.
So you never know what you love until you've almost lost it.
I'm telling you, man. I'm sitting there like, oh God, don't get hit in the shit. And then later on, don't get hit by the arrows.
So the lasting impression, for me, the lasting impression of this show was Danny's face throughout the last minute and a half of the episode.
There's a similar scene like that in the second to last movie, the entry to Hunger Games, where right after she gets picked up, I can't remember her name now, the main character, the one, Katniss, and she's kind of like looking at the camera as she's waking up and hearing everything that's going on, and she just goes from like this worried crying to like this very slowly stone face and then anger, and then it's like, and it ends, and I'm like, that's damn good. That's acting right there. I love it that you can just go from that kind of misery and despair to like resolution, and I'm gonna
Amelia
kill
Clark,
everybody.
When they on that close up that's on her face, if you watch it back, you see her lip jumps, and I'm like, oh shit, it's about to get real up in here.
She's about to go Mad Queen. She's about to go Mad Queen.
I wonder if dragons ever feel bloated.
Of course they do.
Do they ever have
the best damn segue
That really
I've
was.
ever heard?
Holy
Do
crap.
they ever have abdominal discomfort? You know what? You have a couple of those spears go through you. You got some. You don't know abdominal discomfort until you've had two of those quad-tipped spears go right through you. And then you want to talk about leaky gut syndrome. As a human being, you have to deal with different problems than you would if you were a dragon. Just saying. If you are dealing with bloating and abdominal discomfort, you don't have to. If you go to lovemytummy.com, you'll find Atrantil, which, by the way, I've noticed Dr. Ken has still not updated us on the number we've sold in that a week and a half ago as to whether or not he's going to buy. I don't even care about the M&Ms.
No one forgets M&Ms.
I don't even care if he gave me I just want to know how many the Jackhole Nation bought. I mean, that's if here's the thing about if you gut health it's something you don't ever think about. I mean, why would you? Unless you have a problem, you're not going to think about it.
It's true.
It's true. It's true. It's true. But if you're not having a problem, like I typically don't have a bloating problem, I don't have abdominal discomfort, but I want to start killing the bad stuff, the bad bacteria that are, causing me to crave sugar. That's why I'm doing Atrantil. And again, it's hard to, if you're not dealing with the problem, it's like, well, why do I need it? Because I don't feel bloated. I don't have abdominal discomfort. But if you're trying to get off the sugar, if you're doing something like that, that's what Atrantil 2 is good for, is to start attacking that bad bacteria. It's making you crave that as well. So, look, if you're trying to do the Sugar Busters thing, give lovemytummy.com a shot. Go to lovemytummy.com and take a look at Atrantil and see if that might not be just perfect for you. And use promo code MoJo for a great deal on that as well. That's lovemytummy.com, promo code MoJo. Smacking Duck, the closing scene for the whole show will be the dragon eggs that... Yes, you're right. The dragon eggs that one of her 3 dragons laid. By the way, can I just say that I think it's weird that Smacking Duck watches Game of Thrones? Because, I mean, let's face it, does he really seem, or he or she?
I think everybody except for like 5 of our fans watch Game of Thrones, and they get mad.
They hate being called fans. They don't like being called fans. They like jackholes.
Jackholes.
Mojo Jedi. OMG, the royal baby cometh.
Oh,
Meghan Markle is in labor.
Remember,
speaking of royal baby,
real life.
I thought Tyrion was going to I thought he was going to say out loud that was Jaime's baby, because what's his name was standing behind Cersei.
It's not Jaime's baby.
Oh yeah. Did you see his face though?
Yeah,
he was like,
how did he know? Exactly.
Yeah.
So something's up there.
Yeah, I think that there's going to be a little bit of a betrayal going on.
Whiskey 6 is right too. With the popularity of the show Game of Thrones, How soon is it before we see a wave of babies named Tyrion?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's already started.
And what's the guy, the red-haired Redbeard?
Oh,
I want to.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Giants Bane, but I forget his first name.
I see. There's just
Man,
these
so many
names.
names.
Why aren't they just Bob and Sam and Steve?
Gary.
Yes. Just
Gary the Giant Slayer.
That would be so much simpler to remember. But yeah, I agree. There'll be a whole slew of them.
Oh, for sure.
We've had another selfie incident.
Yeah, I read that.
In Midtown Manhattan, a woman severely injured when she fell from a Manhattan rooftop while taking photos on Saturday. This is weeks after a Fordham University student died from tumbling from a campus bell tower. She shot a selfie. The latest victim is 22-year-old Riley Hamilton. The answer to the question is yes, she's hot. Quite hot, actually. Here, she was taking pictures. She fell. Boy, she is lucky, too. She hit... It's going to sound strange saying she's lucky. First, she hit the air conditioner on her way down.
Oh.
So, boom.
Yeah.
Pop number one. Then she lands in the proverbial trash heap.
Ugh.
You know how you always see the people, they fall out.
Yeah.
They land on the big sack, all the garbage.
That they typically survive because they do that.
Which you always wonder, why isn't it a bunch of spaghetti sauce bottles in there that they...
By the way, the baby has been born now.
Oh, well let's all remember that.
Thank God for that.
Baby boy.
Hang on. Now, hang on.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to assume it's gender.
That's correct. Why?
According to Meghan Markle.
They announced it. It's a baby boy.
Oh, they said, screw you.
Wow. So she lands in the trash area, which is like horrendous, horrible. This is what one of the witnesses said. I was just completely shocked. 24-year-old neighbor decided to not give her name. Another neighbor said the young woman landed in a cramped garbage area behind the building, and the paramedics had to carry the victim through the neighbor's apartment to get her out. She was screaming. She was like, "It hurts." Yeah, I can imagine it hurts. You fall 5 stories and land on anything aside from a giant air mattress, it's going to hurt.
Yeah, for sure.
Victim's friends were trying to console her, saying, "We're here for you. We're here for you. How did the selfie look?" I added that last part.
I was going to say.
She and 2 of her roommates had access to the roof, according to the neighbors, who noted that the women like to party. Well, thank you for that one.
Great, yeah. Okay.
They threw a lot of parties, it says. They actually made a lot of noise up there. We were always telling them, please keep it down. Please keep it down. By the way,
and then she did.
And she did. She kept it down. All the way down.
A few stories down.
Thank you. Yeah, the woman who, the early woman who crawled into the clock tower at Fordham University, how far did she fall? It was, damn, and she was hot too. 40 feet. Wow, so she only fell 40 feet, and this one fell 50, and still she survived.
Oh.
Diana Ross had a couple of tweets over the weekend. Okay, so on one hand, I'm treated like royalty in New Orleans, and at the airport, I was treated like shit. This is according to Diana Ross.
Diana Ross got treated like shit at an airport.
She felt violated. She was close to tears as a TSA agent felt between her legs during an airport pat-down. Okay. What? First of all, it is Diana Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we feel compelled to search Diana Ross? Do we really think that Diana Ross is going to take a bomb or a knife or anything on an airplane? And even if Diana Ross does take a knife on an airplane, who cares?
I think that somebody thought Diana Ross was the bomb, and so therefore they had to search her. You know, somebody had a little crush on Diana Ross.
That may be.
And so they were like, I'm going to search Diana.
You know what? I bet you're right.
I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to tell my friends over beers.
Well, first of all, you
have to be a girl.
Guy.
Yeah, I guess it does have to be a girl. Maybe she was all about that Diana Ross life.
She could have been.
But either way, the story is.
That's a good point.
I searched Diana Ross.
I patted Diana Ross's inner thighs.
That's right. You know.
She says, makes me want to cry. The Endless Love songster said she was treated like royalty. Let me be clear, not the people or Delta, but TSA was over the top, makes me want to cry. It's not what was done, but how.
How.
She said in the third message, I feel violated. I still feel her. I still feel her hands between my legs, front and back. Wow, really mixed emotions. I always like to see good things, but not feeling good right now. TSA spokesperson told People magazine that CCTV footage appeared to show the officers involved correctly followed all protocols. But again, I say, it's Diana frickin' Ross.
Yeah. At some point, you got to go, maybe just let this one through.
Pick the biggest lefty out there.
Yeah.
Whoever. Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Pick any. Do you really think that Kim Kardashian is going to take a bomb on an airplane? Take a knife on an airplane? And even if she does, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They're not going to do anything.
No.
Kim Kardashian isn't going to have like a sudden like, oh no, hold on, and then start flash. No.
This is
not
stupid.
That's not going to. Sorry, it wouldn't sound like that. She'd be like, Allahu Akbar.
She wouldn't be able to pronounce it.
Allahu. Oh, that's so weird.
Can I do that again?
Can I try one more time?
Take two.
Here,
back to one.
Is the selfie phone ready thing? Can you? Okay, I just want to get this on my Insta.
I got to gram this the right way, otherwise I won't get any likes.
Can you see my ass? Okay.
Yeah.
Ready? Allahu Akbar.
You can't not see her ass.
She really makes sure you see it everywhere.
TSA is aware of concerns presented by Diana Ross about her screening experience at Louis Armstrong New Orleans International Airport this morning. Initial review of CCTV indicates the officers involved with Mrs. Ross's screening correctly followed all protocols. However, TSA leadership will continue to address the matter further.
No.
We encourage Ms. Ross to reach out to TSA so we can work with her to directly address her concerns.
Oh, my God.
This is asinine.
Yeah, this is absolutely.
This is beyond stupid.
This is an asinine and beyond stupid organization in the first place. I mean, remember, folks, the TSA has a 98% failure rate, according to the DHS.
Jeez.
You know why it's not 100? Because legally they can't put down 100%, but they've managed to get through with like bombs and drugs and so I mean like they weren't even trying that hard. Apparently, like one strapped a bomb to the lower back of somebody. The other one was like, I'm just gonna put drugs in my underwear, see what happens. Walked right all through.
You know what they say? It's always the last place you search, and the last place I'd look for a bomb is right there in Diana Ross hoo-ha.
That's right. I wouldn't go searching there.
What the hell? I just this is
Allahu Akbar.
Stop in the name of love.
Seriously.
This world, I'm going to go snuggle with the man. I'm going to go snuggle with a bear out there. It makes more sense. Your Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. President Trump talking trade this morning. He says the U.S. has been losing $500 billion a year on trade with China. And Mr. Trump tweets, sorry, we're not going to be doing that anymore. The president's threat to hike tariffs on $200 billion in Chinese goods puts China's trade negotiators in a tough spot, according to Jacob Parker with the U.S.-China Business Council.
It unfortunately puts the Chinese government in a position where if they do send a delegation to the United States and if they do come to a negotiated agreement by the end of that period, they have to contend with a domestic audience in China that would view this as a capitulation to the United States.
Fears of a U.S.-China trade war have sent Wall Street futures sharply lower this morning. Right now, Dow futures down 480 points. Israel and Hamas have apparently had enough, at least for now. After a couple of days of intense fighting, things seem to have quieted down. It appears there is a ceasefire, and apparently that ceasefire is holding. Just days after saying he'd leave it up to his attorney general, President Trump is weighing in on whether special counsel Robert Mueller should appear before Congress.
On Fox News Sunday, Rhode Island Democrat David Cicilline said so far the White House has not indicated it would keep Mueller from testifying.
We hope that won't change.
Hours later, it did. The president tweeting, Bob Mueller should not testify. No redos for Democrats. Just Friday, the president had said Attorney General William Barr would make the call on whether Mueller should appear before a House panel that hopes to hear from him him next week.
That's correspondent Sagar Meghani in Washington. And on Wall Street this hour, stock futures are deep in the red. Right now, Dow futures are down about 481 points. S&P 500 futures off 47. NASDAQ futures down 155 points for a loss of just under 2%. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
You know what makes you feel really good about yourself? Doing something good for somebody else. If you'd like to do that today, go to jdrf.org. Join them in the fight against type 1 diabetes. jdrf.org. It's something good you can do for the world.
jdrf.org.
Ladies, some of you sickos willingly accept that with the big doe eyes that you don't even need from a Snapchat filter and just look up at R. Kelly and say, give me your best.
Lorenzo Vizzo. United 7. MoJo 50.
Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
This is the MoJo 50 Institute for the Advanced Application of Freedom. Ya bitches.
The mothership has landed.
So this was the date. This was the date back in...
out of the nose of the ship and has been taking a hold up down on the field by a number of men. The back motors of the ship are just holding it just enough to keep it. It burst into flames. Wait, get it started. It's crashing terrible. Oh my, get out of the way, please. It's bursting into flames and it's falling on the mooring mast and all the folks between us. This is terrible. This is one of the worst catastrophes in the world. Oh, it's 400 or 500 feet into the sky. It's a terrific crash, ladies and gentlemen. The smoke and the flames now, and the flame is crashing to the ground, not quite to the mooring mast. All the humanity and all the passengers.
This was the date in 1937 that the Hindenburg crashed to the ground.
I can't talk, ladies and gentlemen.
It was and think about this. We talked about this last week. The maiden voyage of the Hindenburg. So it left Germany on Friday, basically, and got to New Jersey 3 days later. But the thing is, you talked about, was it helium? Originally, helium was supposed to be the gas that was making these airships buoyant.
Yeah.
And there was actually the Helium Act of 1927, which who knew?
Yeah.
There was the Helium Act of 1927 to keep the helium in reserves because they had been using it to make these airships buoyant.
Was helium in this one?
No, this is hydrogen.
Yeah,
helium's not flammable. Hydrogen is flammable. The reason, or they still aren't quite sure exactly what ignited it, but the Hindenburg essentially circled the runway for 3 hours because there were storms in the area. And so the captain of the ship, he decided they had to basically get away from Lakehurst because that's where the storms were. So he took them kind of over Manhattan and up the Jersey Shore. You know,
I had always heard that it
side
was
of the airship, you'll see the Ferris wheel and blah blah blah. So
I had
that's what they
always
were
heard
doing.
that it was a static discharge.
It could have been that some have said
from the storm. Yeah.
St. Elmo's Fire. Apparently that movie was playing, and it could have been from that.
But you know what, Brad? Here's the thing. What most people don't realize is that the announcer you were hearing, nowadays you would probably not hear an announcer do that unless they were thinking through having to do it, because normally everybody would just shut down, be quiet while that thing was happening.
Like golf.
But this guy talked through it the whole time.
Yeah.
And you could hear his emotion just continue to degrade.
Yeah.
Until he was bawling.
Well, he was there. He was actually in New Jersey to do a standard VO, a standard voiceover for something else. He just happened to be there.
Yeah.
And this thing, I mean, the when you think about the fact that the Hindenburg wasn't the first Zeppelin, they really thought that Zeppelins were going to be the wave of the future. The Hindenburg happened 6 or 7 years after the Empire State Building had been completed. Think about that.
I started to say, didn't somebody say the other night that that tower on
on the Empire State Building, the tower up there was meant to be a Zeppelin port.
A mooring station, yeah.
So that's where you would go if you're going to New York. You dock up to the Empire State Building and get off there. And
I still kind of think in a way. I mean, we could still do it. I just wonder if
horribly inefficient
on every 1920s and 1930s movie of the future.
Yeah,
they're all Zeppelins.
Yeah. I think that there's a way we could still do it. It's just
they don't carry enough people. They only carry 70 people.
But it would be more of like a luxury thing. I feel like, you know, like a cruise ship almost, but in the air.
But you couldn't make any money. That's like the Concorde. They couldn't make any money because the damn thing cost so much to operate, and you don't need to have 70. I mean, you have to charge the 70 people a lot of money to make it worth it.
And I kind of wonder how many people would actually pay it, though. I could be wrong.
Same people. Well, now we have SpaceX going into space, and remember how much? Remember how much
now we can go into space? I like that.
I mean, those tickets are like $7 million a piece.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So, I mean, they still have the Goodyear blimp.
Yeah.
So they still have that, but the Zeppelins, from the time that they completed the Empire State Building to the time the Hindenburg went down, was 6-7 years.
Wow.
So think about that in terms of our history. Well, for instance, remember the guy in Cleveland or Cincinnati, Castro, the guy who kept all those women, who kidnapped the women and kept them in his basement, and they finally broke out. That was 6 years ago. So from that sort of timeline was the timeline between the Empire State Building being completed and the Hindenburg going down.
Yeah.
And the Navy actually had Zeppelins as part of their Air Force. Which sounds strange, but it's the Navy had the USS Los Angeles, which was a Zeppelin, part of its Air Force. Anyway, very strange. I mean, you just don't think about Zeppelins having been used in military.
Is there a difference between a Zeppelin and a dirigible?
$20.
I'm just curious. I had heard them called both, but I don't know if there's a difference.
Zeppelin, I guess, is the German word. Dirigible is the German word. I don't know.
Let me see. I'm gonna Google it. I will say that the announcer, he really
Herbert Morrison is his name.
Man, Herbert.
Herbert.
Whew, man, he really, I think it's the same.
He nailed it. Now, they did ask you to do a second take. Mr. Morrison, could you do that one more time? And,
are you serious right now?
As it goes down, could you please just add a little more emotion in your voice?
All right, everybody, back to one.
Oh, the humanity!
Oh, the humanity!
It was a pretty big deal back then. So,
sir, could you be a little less on fire and they get more on fire again? Please.
1937 that happened. So
it's actually kind of crazy how you're talking about how the Empire State Building was finished alongside, or that happening more or less. Yep. And there are certain things in our history that are way closer together than we actually think. Like, for instance, World War I and the Wild West were neighbors as far as timelines went.
Yeah.
Because you never think about that, like, because the Wild West is always this like isolated period in time where like everyone had that, and then no, it's like it was right on the doorstep of World War I.
That's true.
It's true.
It's true. So, what did? Let's see if you can take on Herbert Morrison's rant there. That's kind of a mini rant that Herbert.
Man, actually, it's not more of a rant today. I just think it's hysterical what's happening right now in the Democrat Party when it comes to socialism. So right now, as you guys know, socialism is there's a perfect display of how badly it fails and how horrible it is happening in Venezuela.
Yes.
Right.
Well, there's that, yeah.
So to give you guys some background, Venezuela obviously is
on fire.
Yeah. Just a tad. It's a little messy.
You think the Hindenburg was a disaster?
Oh, God. So right now, Maduro, he's technically being ousted out of office and legally. The Supreme Court, which is, by the way, a Supreme Court that is on the run, Maduro had essentially put them in they're fugitives from the law.
The Venezuelan Supreme Court is on the run?
Yeah, because it's the legitimate Supreme Court. There's another one that Maduro hired, but it's like, his men. Right. All just yes men. It's a bunch of yes men. And but they never lost their legitimacy according to the people. So the Supreme Court literally holds court over like Skype, in various locations. And they elected another guy to be leader, the legitimate and interim leader of Venezuela in the guise of Juan Guaido, and or Guido, I can't pronounce it. But so right now there is two factions. There's the Maduro faction, which is the complete socialist faction of Venezuela. They think they're still in charge, and then you have the Guaido faction, which is technically the true leader. It's been recognized by all the Western world, Britain, Donald Trump. The moment it happened, Donald Trump was on Twitter talking about how he recognizes Guaido and he's gonna do business with Guaido from now on, not Maduro. You have Marco Rubio riding on down to Venezuela because he loves talking about Venezuela. He rode on down to Venezuela and basically told Maduro, "Don't get in my way," which I was like, "Oh, damn, Rubio." But in any case, you have what is essentially a complete failure, total collapse of a country that should, for all intents and purposes, thrive all the time. It has a year-round growing season, nice little oil reserves, business should be booming, but because of the socialism of Maduro and the government before his, I can't remember the guy's name. It has completely collapsed in on itself. Everything is completely hard to get, and like mundane items that you and I take for granted: toilet paper, diapers, baby formula.
See, that's when it's out for me. You start running out of toilet paper,
dude.
Okay, Uncle, I give up,
dude. Seriously, toilet paper and bacon grease. I am 100% sure that if we ever went through economic collapse or the end of the world happens, like we're living in a post-apocalypse, they are gold. Toilet paper and bacon grease.
That's it.
Gold, Jerry. Mm-hmm. So we have, anyway, all this to say, one more interesting fact. You ever played or heard of World of Warcraft, the video game?
Yeah.
Okay. The gold...
you asked me that like...
The digital gold...
Grandpa?
Have you ever heard of this newfangled game?
It's a video game called Warcraft. Well, in my day, we played Warcraft, and it was real.
It was... we took it...
airplanes flying around above our head.
Literal Warcrafts. Mm-hmm. The gold in that game is literally worth way more than a bolivar, which is the currency in Venezuela.
Oh, in the bolivar, I mean, what's it worth?
It is worth less than toilet
yes,
paper. It is worth less than toilet paper.
Inflation was running like what, 1,000,000%? It was
it was
stupid,
ridiculous. So the thing is, it is so bad over there because of the socialism. The economy is just nothing now. You are starving. People are losing. Like 70-something% of the population is like now dangerously underweight. You have people taking people at hospitals, injured and sick people, to hospitals in dump trucks.
So this is what you're saying. This is a good time to attack Venezuela,
right? And take it over.
Too weak to fight back.
They can't do anything about it. I think we should take it right now. Donald Trump needs to get on this. But it's horrible. Everything is horrible. Women are literally sterilizing themselves so they don't have babies.
Right.
All because of socialism.
How do you sterilize yourself?
Well, I mean, they're going to hospitals.
Oh, gotcha.
But that'd be interesting to watch.
I was gonna say, is there a way to do that?
Maybe. I don't know. So naturally, we're going to our Democratic Socialists here in the United States and being like, hey, what do you think?
What are they saying, by the way? Is AOC even responding to this?
Here's a fun thing that AOC is saying. It goes like this. Absolutely nothing.
She's saying not. They're not. She's not referencing Venezuela in any way, shape, or form.
So someone tried to. The National Review's John McCormick actually came up to her and asked her the question. Said, "What do you think? Do you think the Maduro regime is legitimate?" You know,
right?
AOC replied, "I defer to caucus leadership on how we should navigate this."
Wow, the first time she's deferred to anything on anything.
I know. Suddenly the woman who runs her mouth about everything, no matter how much she knows about it,
right,
suddenly doesn't have anything to say. Funny.
Huh.
This isn't the first time she's actually avoided this question, by the way. You actually have her back, I think it was in November, saying when this was all starting to go down, what do you guys think about it? Do you think about when Guaido was taking over?
Right.
It's like, do you think that this is okay? And she goes, our office is monitoring it closely. I think that, the humanitarian crisis is extremely concerning. But, and then she turns this around on Trump. When we use non-democratic means to determine leadership, that's also concerning. So we're figuring out our response and making sure that we center the people of Venezuela first and foremost. Okay, first off, if you're centering the people of Venezuela first and foremost, then maybe you should step away from Maduro because he's the one who put them in this situation in the first place. All right? And then you're saying non-democratic means? Was she not? I'm going to guess she did, but she wasn't paying attention to anything that was happening right now. Because,
I doubt it.
Yeah. If she thinks that Maduro's is legitimate, the guy who, ran the Supreme Court out of the nation and proceeded to stack the government with yes men and stuff like that and tried to rig you think that's legitimate? Then maybe, and I'm just throwing this out there, maybe you should not be in a leadership position because you can't be trusted. Okay,
Well,
if you think that's legitimate.
Kind of shows that she's smart by deferring the question.
I would say, but her deferring the question at this point is her essentially, because this should be this is one of those things that should be a no-brainer. Should be an absolute no-brainer. But Bernie Sanders does the exact same thing when he was asked about it. He straight up said, I don't want to talk about this right now. I don't want to talk about it. The only person who actually came out and supported him, at least from what I've read so far, is Ilhan Omar, who actually said Maduro. Yep. So
strange days.
This is I just want to show you guys this because look, you have socialists in the Democratic Party. They're taking over the Democratic Party, and they are afraid to say anything against Maduro. Why? Because they know for a fact that his loss is actually their loss.
Right.
Socialism's failure in Venezuela is reflective of how socialism would fail here. Venezuela should be, for all intents and purposes, a thriving country. Thriving. It's not.
Right.
It's not. It's collapsing.
It has amazing natural resources. I mean, they got oil at the wazoo.
Yeah, and a year-round growing season.
Uh-huh.
This should be one of those places that's just rolling, like Scrooge McDucking it.
Yeah.
In vaults of gold, man, but no.
They should be bathing in dollars, but they're not.
Exactly. And so, but this just goes to show you, this is the kind of thing that they want to drive us toward in the Democratic Party. This is the socialism that they back. They have this utopian idea, just like Maduro did. They have this everything's going to be great. There's going to be no more racism, no more poverty, no more income inequality, yada, 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 all because we implemented socialism. No, this is what happens when you implement socialism. And this isn't a one-off thing either. All right? Socialism and communism has proven not to work no matter where it was implemented at. Look, North Korea. Look at North Korea. North Korea they are starving and impoverished and have been for decades. Call it communism. Russia. How many people died in Russia over the communism? Not just the war.
More than 10.
It was like more than 10 people. Can you believe that? Yes. So it doesn't work wherever you go. They have to even in homogenous areas like Sweden and stuff like that. For a long time, that entire area was socialist, pure socialist. They actually had to implement capitalist measures because their economy was going down the crapper. Not a lot of people know that. That's not widely known, but you have a whole bunch of socialists pointing to it constantly. Oh yeah, well it works for them. No, it didn't work for them. It didn't work for them at all. All right, socialism does not work. And I've said this on the Morse code many a time. I'm going to repeat it here now. We are the wrong species for socialism. We are not ants. If we were ants or we were some kind of hive-minded thing, then socialism would work. However, we're not. We are egotistical apes who are more concerned with ourselves, our tribe, our families than we are with other people.
How cool though would it be to be an ant and be able to lift like 1,000 times your weight?
Dude, that would be I'd be a superhero. You know,
just lift up your car and put it into another parking spot.
I would like that.
I'd like it a lot.
You could like shelve your car.
Right.
You would cut back on parking space.
See the things we could do.
Yeah, we need to get on that. Genetically engineering ourselves to.
By the way, there was a single winner in Alaska of the Nanana Ice Classic. Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Goodbye. It was the Ice Classic manager, Sherry Fornes, says that Anchorage resident Patricia Andrew, the only person to guess the exact time the ice officially went out on the Tanana River in Nanana. So apparently every year they set up a tripod on the Tanana River in Nanana in Alaska. A lot. See how you
can't say.
Nope, you can't. And when one of the legs breaks through the ice, that's the moment in time that they record as the breaking of the ice. It happened at 12:21 in the morning on April 14th, the earliest in the contest's 102-year history. The jackpot is $311,000. So Andrew, this is Patricia Andrew will receive after taxes $225,000-ish after federal taxes are withheld. So congratulations to her. Now, see where they could have really thrown the curve off on this is if they'd kept part of that ice in a cat cooler.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would have extended the ice season substantially, because as we all know, cat coolers can keep icy for days.
It's like the long winter or the long night.
It is
in a cat cooler.
It is.
You know,
you could stay chilly. And more importantly, your drinks and your food. If you're going out on the lake, if you're going out on the Tanana River, after the ice melts, you could take a little piece of the ice from the Tanana River with you in a cat cooler. If you go to catcoolers.com, they are amazing coolers. They're big. They're huge.
They're huge.
So big.
They're huge.
And they keep things so cold for so long. If you use promo code Brandon, you'll get 10% off your favorite cat cooler, which could be the yellow, it could be the white, could be the black, could be the camo. Don't take your camo cooler into the jungle, though.
Yeah, you'll lose it.
You will lose it.
That's how good the pattern is on it. You'll lose it.
I mean, you could find it if you went in with a thermal imaging device and searched for the cold spot, the blue spot on your thermal imaging device. You'd be able to find your cat cooler, but you wouldn't be able to find it by eyesight.
Yeah,
because it disappears.
The cat cooler is too well made, Brad.
It really is.
It's too well made.
It would not be socialism. Is not. I mean, cat coolers are not built for socialism either.
Yeah,
because it
stands out.
It does. It takes the average way up.
Yeah.
See for yourself. Go to catcoolers.com and remember promo code Brandon for 10% off said cat cooler. Did you meet SK Thompson?
Did I meet
here? Tall guy,
I think so.
Distinguished looking gentleman.
Yeah,
which is
they're
ironic.
all very distinguished looking.
Except that one guy.
Except for that one guy.
SK Thompson, I heard Chelsea Clinton and Bill Clinton are starting a podcast. That would be good comedy.
I need it. I need it so bad. Wait, hang on. That's a bell.
It's
I need to have that in my life for sure.
That's welcome to. I got my daughter Chelsea here, and hey, Chelsea, hey, I'll go talk to this woman over here. You just you keep the podcast going. I'll be right over here.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was sitting there looking at this woman who's walking by. Hey, how you doing?
She looks so good to me. Apparently they're going to start a podcast. Well, you know what? It's either.
Wait, is it Bill and Chelsea or is it Hillary and Chelsea?
No, it's Bill and Chelsea.
Bill and Chelsea.
Because nobody wants to pair up with Hillary.
Yeah, no one. No one likes Hillary.
No,
not even the Clintons.
Nope. She can't even get their vote in a presidential election. And JJ just tweeted, I want some Milanos. I know this is why today, for like the first couple of days after MoJoCon, not the day to start any sort of caloric consumption downward trend, because bunch of damn cookies sitting around, bunch of food, bunch of booze. It looks like, it looks like a Super Bowl party happened here over the weekend.
Yeah.
There's that much food.
There's still dead people on the floor. We haven't cleaned that up.
There's still food underneath the chairs I keep finding.
Saving it for later, man.
Oh, I'm not throwing
Packing
it away.
away like squirrels, man. Well, hey, the winter's going to come at some point in time. We need to be prepared.
Right. I mean, these cookies still taste perfectly good. They were underneath the couch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any reason to.
Yeah. I mean, look, we've already determined that the 5-second rule is complete crap.
Oh, yeah. It's a 20-second, maybe 30, a full minute.
Yeah, at least.
And at MoJoCon, a day and a half.
And then what we don't consider is that maybe eating those germy cookies are actually good for our immune system. It powers it up.
Yeah, you gotta build it up.
Exactly.
No, that's news.
I feel like we're missing out on a lot of opportunity to be healthier
common
people.
Sense.
Yeah, exactly.
You hate it when people eat in the microphone, don't you?
You know what? You're actually. I
love it.
Brad is doing everything he can to.
That's so good.
You're such a dick.
I love that so much.
Such a dick.
By the way, if you did miss MoJoCon and if you missed the clothing sale we had, you're going to put some of these. We still have some of Doc's iconic clothing left. We're going to put some of that up on the eBay. It'd be under Brad Staggs, BradStaggs. And don't forget, still have a few magic things on there. Not going to be a big magic week this week because I spent all my time MoJoCon last week, so didn't have time to prepare a lot of stuff to put on.
And that in itself was magic.
It was magic. Never believe it's not so. So be watching the Brad Staggs on eBay, and we'll have some of Doc Thompson's other goodies up there for bidding. We'll probably just buy it now. Either way, this is your Daily Mojo.
High capacity, fully automatic, large caliber, freedom. MoJo 50.
May 3rd, a day that will live in sports infamy. That is the day that Sinclair Broadcasting Group officially won a bid to take on the 21 regional sports networks that were put up for sale by Disney thanks to its merger with Fox last year. Yes, it took Disney a year to complete the sale of those regional sports networks. The sale totaled $10.6 billion, with Sinclair Broadcasting beating out a joint bid by Liberty Media Group and Major League Baseball, as well as one other finalist. The biggest question here? Who won? The numbers suggest Sinclair got itself a good deal for those properties, with Disney believing at one point they could fetch $20 billion or more. So getting the RSNs for nearly half the price feels a lot like winning. According to a report by Forbes, the 21 regional sports networks made $3.8 billion in revenue and had 74 million subscribers overall in 2018 alone. Interestingly, Sinclair decided to create an indirect but wholly owned subsidiary called Diamond Sports Group to complete this transaction. Originally, there were 22 regional sports networks, but the New York Yankees took back ownership of the YES Network, leaving 21 properties that had to be sold off. That cost the Yankees $3.47 billion back in March and left the #1 rated RSN off the market, thus allowing a much smaller price tag for the remaining networks that were being sold. Earlier this year, Sinclair and the Chicago Cubs announced that they were creating the Marquee Sports Network to air Cubs games starting in 2020. Will all the RSNs fall under this umbrella, or will Sinclair do something different? However, the real key in all of this is Sinclair's ability to leverage their knowledge of local broadcasting. That's good news for these networks who see ratings ebb and flow with how good teams are performing. Sinclair's knowledge of the business of TV is going to be important to their potential to financially succeed. I'm Andrew Coppins, and this has been By the Numbers. You can follow me on all things social at The Coppins Show.
By the Numbers with Andrew Coppins is powered by TarRiverArms.com. They've revolutionized online firearm sales with high-resolution pictures, 3D imaging, and the best prices. How much will you save? Find out at TarRiverArms.com. That's TarRiverArms.com.
The Daily Mojo.
Yeah, you may love the stockyards, but the thing is, it was at a place with karaoke.
Oh, what, the Jackals on
the Jackals on Saturday night. It was... I'm just not a big karaoke fan.
Really?
No.
I love karaoke.
Well, okay, why do you like karaoke?
I just like to sing. And I like to sing it because I'm, an attention whore like that.
Right.
But I also love to sing along with people. And I don't even care if they're horrible. I love it if they're horrible. If they're having a good time and they're making everyone else have a good time, then that's what it's all about, man.
Is that what it is?
I love it. Yeah.
I just can't. I can't hear. If I'm gonna stand there and talk with people, I can't hear anything, especially if there's a giant speaker blasting out. Somebody singing right in front of me. I just and it goes against my nature to sit there and talk while someone's singing, because it's like, okay, we should be paying attention. It's like going to a movie and talking through a movie. If someone's singing on stage, shouldn't you be paying attention? That way, you can't have a conversation in a place. So,
yeah.
Oh, it just seems odd to me.
Yeah, that I will agree with you with. I don't like going to clubs for that very reason. If the entire time I'm there, it's like,
right, yeah,
and I'm sitting there having to scream at you in order just to be heard,
right? Like,
and the other thing I hate is like having to walk sideways and like crab, like just to get somewhere. Like,
so you get crabs when you?
I get crabs when I'm at the club.
Right, that happens too.
Yeah,
that happens to the best of us.
But you're walking. You have to it takes you 5 minutes to get from like the back of this room to that to this end of the room,
right?
Because everyone is so packed together. You have to walk sideways very slowly. And you got that boom, 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 and you're here. I hate that. But karaoke, that's fun. Karaoke's fun.
You and Jen likes karaoke too.
Yeah?
Yeah, she was saying that she's like, karaoke, I'm in.
Yeah. Oh, you can pretty much convince me to go anywhere if there's karaoke.
Really? It just, I don't know. It just sounds, seems odd to me. Is Ron behind the guy? Okay.
Ron behind the guy.
Ron behind the wall. Guy behind the wall. Because I want you to take a look at this, run this thing full screen, and I'll give you the story on this video here in just a second. But first, if you are watching or listening rather in the car, what we see here to set the scene up is a kid standing at the front door of what looks to be a residence, knocking on said door.
Oh my god!
Girl answers the door.
Do we pull up to the wrong house?
No. Who is this?
Dude is
Oh no! Oh no!
Dude,
It's okay. I really thought you were someone else.
I apologize.
Oh my gosh,
I'm really
she's hot.
No, that's my bad.
I mean, for a 16-year-old girl. So, guy
that's so sad.
Goes, drives up, and wants to ask his babe to the prom.
Yeah.
But they pulled up to the wrong house. So when they ring the doorbell and she answers and they're videotaping the whole thing, it's the wrong girl.
That's so sad.
So
and you can see her too. She was like,
"Oh my god!" And you don't know what to say in a situation like that, because obviously he didn't want to hurt her feelings,
right?
I mean, so he had some couth about him, which is nice to see, but. How embarrassing. I want to ask you to... Oh,
you know what makes me...
It's not you. And did you hear? She's like, I thought you were somebody else anyway.
I thought you were somebody else.
You were somebody else.
It's okay. She went back in and cried.
Well, yeah.
I feel so bad because he was like, dude, I think we've got the wrong house. She's like, no.
Right, yeah.
No, like,
oh my God, this is so nice. I can't believe you brought me donut. And she wasn't like, I mean, it would have been worse if she'd been like a big old fatty.
Right.
Because he brought donuts.
Yeah.
So it would have been. I brought donuts for the horse. Here's a feed bag to strap on.
Oh, that's sad. That's so sad.
Austin Musa was his name. Johnny Pachalis. They drove to the girl's house with a box of donuts, and Austin is going to ask the girl to prom if they had just been at the right house to get to the neighborhood. Austin said he couldn't remember which door belonged to Hannah, who was trying to find. He's like, don't worry, dude, I got you. I know which house it is. So the guy videotaping the thing, I don't know if he was like hosing his buddy.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like, hey, this will be funny. Watch this.
I think maybe there was a little subversion going on there. That poor girl.
And she was cute.
She was cute.
You know what'd
be funny? You know what'd be funny if he was actually doing that and he's like, oh, no, hang on. Sorry. This is the girl I'm asking out. And that would have been still a cute thing.
Yes.
But no, that poor girl.
Hey, you're hotter than Hannah. Actually, then there's a picture
screw Hannah.
Yeah. There's except Thank you. There's actually a picture of Hannah on this story was in USA Today. There's a picture of Hannah, and Hannah is a looker as well. So,
well, they both looked very cute.
He could have, he would have been, neither one of them would have been a disappointing prom date.
Yeah.
But how awkward. Now if it probably would have been a better story if he had just said, "Oh, hey, you know what? Hey, do you want to go to the prom?" And she had said yes. And then they get married, and 30 years down the road, they're still married, and they got 12 kids and grandkids. Because he'll marry this one, and they'll be divorced in 2 years after having 3 kids, and she'll be getting alimony from him and child support. He'll be, I can't believe I asked you to the prom, and I could ask this other girl.
Yeah,
and,
right there. Right. What if it was fate, and he just passed fate right on by?
I mean, opportunity only knocks once.
He was the opportunity that knocked.
Right.
Opportunity answered. And he still turned it down.
What a great story for the grandkids.
I'll tell you what else is really interesting is the fact that he presented her with donuts and she was just immediately on board.
Yes.
So what did we learn today?
Donuts will get you everywhere.
Yeah, screw flowers.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need flowers. That's a thing of the past. Now
I don't think it was the flowers he was trying to.
It was about donuts. It's all about donuts now, folks.
Heather Cougar, Jackhole Diva, is still 5 hours out. And Heather, okay, so I talked to Heather in the downstairs here on Friday evening as everyone was going their separate ways. And Heather, you said you had something for me, or you're sending or something, or did she leave it with Ron? Ron, did Heather Cougar, Jackhole Divas leave you anything?
I don't know.
Someone's
I can't
nodding.
remember now. I can't remember what she said because
we've got a nodder in the hanging out with the bear.
Who?
Somebody nodded to your question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. So anyway, I don't know if Heather left something here for not.
Yeah,
or,
she did. She told me what it was. I remember now.
Was it for you or me or who?
It was old historical magazines.
That's right. That's
cool.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because I remembered the conversation, and I promised her I wouldn't forget, and then I forgot until just now.
Shit happens.
So, by the way, if you ever want me to remember something, don't tell me. Tell Beth. Tell Ron. Hell, just don't tell Ron either because he won't
tell
remember
Ron.
it. Just tell Beth because
That was one conversation in a million that day, and I apologize for not remembering. But now that I've been told, I do remember the conversation.
Well, of course you remember it if you've been told. That's the whole point of being told initially, to remember so you don't have to be told again, which, by the way, I hate that. Hey, Brandon, remind me later to tell you that thing about the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, okay, that's responsibility
My
shifting.
wife does that to me all the
I
time.
hate
Hey,
that.
remind
I gotta
me
set
this
alarms
weekend
on
we've
my
got to go
phone.
such and such.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No,
you
I will
remind
not.
me.
Yes.
Remind me to tell you that you've got to.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's putting your responsibilities on someone else essentially in one fell stroke.
How about you write it down on your own damn notepad and remind yourself later
Set
on?
a timer
How
on your
about
damn
that?
phone.
That's what phones are for.
Yeah.
Sometimes I pick up her phone and go, "Hey Siri."
Hey Siri.
Oh, that's genius.
Yeah, it is kind of genius.
That's really smart. I didn't expect that from you, Ron. That's really a good idea.
You devious boy. You devious.
You almost got caught up in the chair there, didn't you?
No, my little charger fell here on the ground, and I'm not going to go pick it up because I'm
very
lazy.
Sad about that. The gun box.
Yeah,
Wait,
boy.
Hold on.
I'm
I didn't
sexy and
technically.
know
I
it.
didn't even technically open it yet. So now let's open it.
I'm sexy and I know it.
The gun box, sexy, safe storage for your gun. You know, if Diana Ross had been traveling with the gun box, she wouldn't have gotten felt up.
Yeah.
Yeah, she still would have gotten felt up.
Yeah.
But if she had had the gun box with her, the gun box Echo, that's the portable unit.
Yeah.
You want to take your unit with you?
I do. I take my unit everywhere I go.
It's always a good idea to keep your unit with you. If you don't, you never know what could happen.
Yeah.
You can get a lot of trouble if you find yourself somewhere and your unit's not with you.
Right.
But if you get the Echo, you can do just that. You can get it in carbon black. You can get it in was it space gray? That's the iPhone. Carbon black, and then there's a gray version too. But it is, I mean, it's the safest way to travel with your weapon and have instant access to your weapon whenever you need it. You can get it into the fingerprint pad, the keypad, the RFID unlock, and you can get these mobile alert notifications. So if anybody messes with your gun box, it lets you know. Sends you a little alert.
I like that.
Somebody's getting into your box.
I hope it. I want it to say that. I really. Yeah. If there's a way that they could program that in, someone's getting into your box.
Your box is being violated.
Will you please look at your box?
Please take a look at your box. Go to thegunbox.com and always remember wherever you go to use promo code MoJo because you never know what you're going to get. Ever.
You never know.
Promo code MoJo.
What you're going to get.
At thegunbox.com. A wild raccoon moved into the German zoo in Berlin.
Oh?
A wild raccoon moving into Heidelberg Zoo. This is funny because they have raccoons in the zoo.
Yeah.
So
he just decided to become also
a free raccoon. Breaks into the zoo. And you'd think they'd go, well, you get him out of here, but they can't actually release the raccoon. Now that he's in the zoo, they can't release him because he is considered a pest. So European Union rules forbid them from being released back into the wild.
Really? So he's a permanent resident now?
Yes, they are considered raccoons considered an invasive alien species that might pose a threat to European plants and animals. Wild raccoons in Europe are the descendants of animals that escaped from fur farms years ago.
Oh, wow.
Decades ago. Fred is unlikely to produce offspring, but European Union rules dictate he'll have to be castrated.
Oh, poor guy.
So...
No!
Not only does he break into prison, but they're going to cut his balls off.
Oh, man, that's sad. But I got to tell you, if I was a raccoon...
Germany.
Yeah, if I was a raccoon... That sounds more like the ending to one of their little Grimm's fairy tales, you know?
Wow.
Like, he broke into the place and immediately was castrated.
Fred?
What does that teach you, kids?
Fred, we got good news and bad news. The good news is you'll never want for another meal again.
That's right. You got 3 hots and a cot, buddy.
The bad news, you might want to sit down.
But slowly, because it might hurt for a little while.
Yeah, this is... It's not going to end well for Fred.
You know, I actually feel bad for man. I got my dog neutered and I felt guilty. I felt horrible.
I know. It's always because they're like, they go back and they're sniffing around. What the? And then they look at you. It's like,
what happened?
What the hell?
What did you do to me? And I'm like, I'm sorry, buddy. If it was up to me, it never would have happened.
I love you, dude. And I show you love. And what do you do to you?
Cut off my balls?
What?
This is betrayal of the highest order. And I'm like, dude, it works on me. He gives me those puppy dog eyes. I'm just like, man, I'm sorry for being alive. I apologize. But it wasn't my call. It wasn't my call. If it was just me, all right. But like the vet and everyone was like, yeah, you need to get him because, you know, it's going to prevent prostate cancer, which it does.
In humans.
No, it does. My St. Bernard. I had to put him down after a while. He had prostate cancer. It was like big.
How old was he?
He was 12 years old. My St. Bernard.
Was he really?
Yeah. I mean, he kept going. He was stubborn.
Huh.
Like his dad.
Unusual.
And yeah, very unusual. But yeah, I mean, he had bad prostate cancer. It was big. He had trouble using the restroom. And it was his time. But I will say that so getting him neutered does prevent that. And golden retrievers, the one that I have now, is they're notorious for cancer.
Right.
And so we decided to do that. And they said it would actually calm him down, but I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true at all.
It calms you down because you go to sit every ow.
It makes you calm for a little while. And then after that, it's just the worst. I felt so bad.
Did you watch the Kentucky Derby?
I did not.
It was weird. We talked about this earlier today, but it was just so weird because the winner, the winner was technically disqualified. He wasn't disqualified, though, for like 20 minutes after the race was run.
Yeah.
And nobody can figure out what exactly happened.
I mean, like they didn't give anybody a reason why he was disqualified?
He was impeded. He impeded the progress of another horse.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently it was in the last turn of the race, the third and final turn. But first of all, how do you not? I mean, it's a track full of horses. aren't they all impeding each other? I mean, they're right in front of each other. You can't. I mean, they all try to hug the rail going through the turn. So, I mean, right there, aren't you? Isn't it more the fault if you are getting impeded by somebody? Isn't it more the fault of you because you can see what's what's in front of you? It's like skiing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The downhill skier, it's the guy behind the guy
he
uphill.
can't see anything.
Right.
Yeah.
The guy uphill has the responsibility of staying out of the way. I mean,
was the guy intentionally looking back and trying to?
No, that's just it. Jen, I think earlier tweeted or sent Ron a text, one of the two, saying that if you, as a horse, if you impede the progress of another horse, either accidentally or on purpose, you're disqualified.
That makes no sense.
Was it a?
It says the stewards ruled that on the final turn, Maximum Security had moved out of his lane and bumped into War of Will, who originally finished in 8th place, but then ended in 7th after Maximum Security was disqualified.
Out of his lane.
Country House's jockey is the one who initially raised the objection.
So
West acknowledged Monday that he saw Maximum Security move out of his lane, but the error is easy to make because the Kentucky Derby field is so crowded.
Okay, so aren't they all out of their lanes technically? Aren't they all?
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, how many horses are there? 2, 4, 6.
I feel
Well,
like
there were 20 horses
16.
in the Kentucky Derby. Is the only one of the 3 that runs 20 horses.
All right.
The other ones run 14.
All right, so there should be 20 lanes, obviously. So the track should be 20 horses wide.
Mm-hmm.
So there shouldn't be any horse behind another one. Technically, I mean, this is one of those rules that no one's ever heard of.
I didn't know that there were rules. I thought it was just go. I mean, like obviously, don't
get on the horse and run.
Don't kick the other dude as you're running. But I mean, just go fast as
It's
fast
the
as
first
you can.
time in the 145-year history that this has happened.
Wow.
The only other disqualification was for a drug test a couple of weeks later, but that was back in the late 60s. But this one is the first time.
So have any other jockeys whined about? Reported that a horse got in their way?
Well, I think they ended up saying that they did ultimately say, yeah, he bumped me, but
I'm saying, in other words,
Country House is
this the first time a jockey has ever spoken up saying, dude in front of me, he got in my way? Or have there been other cases in previous races where they, dude got in my way, and they went back and looked and said, no, he didn't? I bet
there has been, because there's a lot of money on the line.
I just have a hard time. Okay, 145 years of this race, right? There has never been a horse that has touched another horse.
Yeah, I'm having trouble wrapping my head around that too.
It just doesn't make any sense to me that this is. I have the conspiracy
the
theory.
steward said that the horse dangerously impeded
the
paths of other horses.
All right, let's see here.
Okay, you're right. That's weird then. So in 100 and something odd years, that has never happened before.
All right, so I've got the video up of the race. All right, so they come across the finish line. All right, so this is a repeat here. The horse is coming through the third turn.
Yeah, he's the one on the far front right now.
All right,
watch
into
him.
pink.
He'll cross over.
All right, so he comes all the way out, and
there's one.
All right,
yep.
So there is, and boom.
Yeah, there's one. He jumps in front of him.
Okay.
All right.
And then it pushed him into the number 18.
Okay.
All right, so he gets in front of the other horse. I see what they're saying, but
I feel like there's a lot of people in front of a lot of horses here. I don't
that is
get it,
a
though.
crowd. Unless you go to the back of the pack and you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 horses running.
Not only
abreast.
that, they're running and slop.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the inner ring
rest
here,
of the pack, yeah,
they're sitting there like in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row.
Yeah, and so if you look at the front 2 horses, the leader, what's the horse that got disqualified? His name?
Maximum Security.
Maximum Security. You can see his legs are kind of intertwined with the horse behind him. So I see what they're saying but this cannot possibly be the first time that horses have come close like this.
It might be the first time that the horse in the lead has done it. So it gets spoken about.
Maybe. I realize there's a lot of money riding on these. A lot. Like,
oh yeah,
both literally and figuratively.
And the horse that won ended up as the second highest payout in Derby history.
Yeah. So there was a lot of money riding on this. And I'm kind of wondering, though, like, you got to think that these kinds of complaints get filed all the time. And they turn them down. So, but they finally just decided this time to go ahead.
Why
with
this time?
Yeah, why this time?
He's appealing the decision, but he's also decided not to run his horse in the other two Triple Crown races.
Why bother?
Yeah, why bother?
Yeah. At that point in time, I guess
would these be the same? Okay, typically, would these be the same horses? Would you, in other words, will you see any of these horses in next year's Derby? Or do they run one Derby and it's off to have sex with other horses?
That's a good question.
They'll
run in the other two races, but I don't know.
Right. But, I mean, do you raise a horse up to run in this race and then say, okay, that's it? I mean, are they good for one model year and then you have to sell them? Or do you run them in multiple races? Could some of these horses be back next year?
I think they do multiple races. Well, you know what? There's a documentary. It's on Netflix, and it was really popular for a while. It's like 5 Days Till or something like that. I'll look it up, and I'll have it on my next Netflix and chill recommendation. But the entire thing was like a derby.
Right.
And yeah, the amount of money and pomp and circumstance that goes into this. But they actually talk about the life of the horses before and after the derbies. And I do think that there is, like, they do run them multiple times. It's not like a one and done thing.
These are some of the best in shape horses you'll ever find.
Exactly. And I mean,
these things are muscle bound.
Yeah, this is like years and years of breeding and being careful about, what they eat and exercise.
They
and stuff
go to
like
the
that.
gym regularly.
Yeah, they work. They do
no
squats.
Soy. I mean, they don't want to have any. There's no soy boys in this.
That's right.
Yeah, and the squat rack. I mean, you're always trying to keep.
Yeah.
Inevitably, if you go to the gyms in
They're flipping the tires.
They are just. There's always a horse in front of you on the squat rack. It's like, dude.
So they don't. You know what? They're the worst about wiping down the machine afterwards.
Right? Are you going to be done soon? Nay. It's like they're just off.
Well done.
Hold on.
Well done.
That was.
Well done, Brad.
That was good.
That was good. That was good.
Thank you. I spent all morning waiting for that one, so
he had that planned out long in advance.
There was one thing when I got up this morning. I got this one, and this is one I'm saving until the end. Zig the Trucking Gator says it's been. No, not that one. Where's the other one? Oh, in horse racing, you have to maintain your lane once it's established. It's not car racing, sadly. So once your lane is established,
But I mean, like, I can understand that. But my question is, I'm looking at like even that picture that we just put up there with the video,
right?
And there were tons of horses in a singular lane, and so I've got to wonder what like how where does the rule kick in and when does it do?
Right.
I don't get it.
Well, as the jockey, so you're riding. Oh, so let's just for the sake of argument say that the horse in the lead there is in his lane near the inside close to the rail and he's looking down the track, because I'm sure they're looking down thinking, okay, I don't want the horse to step there because there's a dip in the I don't know, pick your poison, there's a puddle, there's a rock, there's a clump, there's a whatever, and so I need to drift over here a little to the right to avoid hitting whatever pothole he wants to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are you not keeping the horse's best interest? Because if one of those trips and goes lame, man, it's 2 bullets to the one to the chest and one to the head. Right there.
B from the SAV and Saddle Effing Tramp. Thank you. So it's called a futurity. It's a triple. The Triple Crown is futurity, meaning only 3-year-olds can race. So only 3-year-old horses. So yeah,
all right.
That's right.
It.
That's right. Thank you for money. They can, so long as they're 3 years old.
Can you imagine the amount of money they've put into this horse? To have it disqualified. Holy crap!
Good, dude. That would be.
That was good too, Brad.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, look at all the money they put into Sarah Jessica Parker.
Hey-oh! Her Stella Artois commercials lately are horrible.
I think let's go out on a high note, shall we?
30 minutes, let's go!
By the way, all the jackholes got to hear the train whistle as they were here at the at MoJo Con. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That is at the end of Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo. But as always, let's find out what, if anything, we learned today. We learned Hillary has to pay extra if she wants Chelsea and Bill's votes. Sad but true. We learned the Hubble telescope can fit 265,000 galaxies into a single shot, but still has problems framing Kim Kardashian's ass. See, there, right there. There's my triple crown. And finally, we learned never break into a German zoo.
You actually took mine.
It's not.
You took mine.
Sorry, I will. Has problem facing Kim Kardashian's ass. The Brandon Morse, what, if anything, did you learn today?
I learned that, never break into a German zoo. No, I'm glad Brad said it because I can't stress this enough. Don't break into a German zoo.
Seriously, do not break into a German zoo. Not kidding.
Brad and I also learned that Brad and I are going to starve because we would rather really go vegan than eat maggots. But even then, I doubt that we can go vegan.
Yeah, that's true.
We're going to die.
I'll eventually eat a maggot.
You really? I guess if you're starving, you'll eat a plate of dog shit if you're starving.
No, I'd starve to death before I eat.
You would?
Yeah, yes. I'm afraid I would. I'm afraid I would.
Oh, well, it is. I got to tell you, I've tried going vegan before, and it was probably one of the worst experiences of my life.
Well, Mary Moon, she's a vegetarian.
Really?
Yeah.
No, not a vegetarian, like a vegan.
No, but Mary Moon's a vegetarian.
Oh, yeah.
She don't eat meat.
Mm-hmm.
But she sure likes the bone. See, Ron is the only one who he saw that one coming.
So. He's Ron's doing that I just heard a dad joke face.
Mary Moon, she's a vegetarian. Mary Moon, Mary Moon. You've never heard that song, have you?
No, I haven't.
We've got to take Brandon out more. Ron, we have sheltered him far too much for his young life.
Snarkazard, the jackhole Pokemon. I like it. It's Snarkazard.
I like
He changed
that.
it. He changes it from time to time.
He
Peekapool.
does.
He said, "You know who else never tried monkey bread?
Ha!
Hitler." He's right,
Right.
Sir Rat Bastard II said, "Lusty Jillhole last seen tubing the Great Mojo River last week."
Did anyone go out and check the Mojo River to see if Lusty's in it? Oh, I hope one of the Grizzly didn't paw at her.
Rusty Lugnut said the toughest thing about eating vegetables in the is the wheelchair gets in the way.
Wow.
The bell count for today's show, according to Leprechaun 420, 11 missed innuendo bells, 34 actual bells, and 0 horns.
By the way, Leprechaun, next year.
Next year, buddy.
You and me on the roof. Not in that sense. Not in that sense, but he knows what I'm saying. He knows what I mean. And I love you. I love you, Leprechaun. Love you like a brother. We'll get to those new numbers on procrastination, by the way, as soon as Doc returns from his Florida vacation. Last seen on the Matterhorn, I believe. Your Daily Mojo, in the meantime, is a Ron Phillips production. Wherever you go, whatever you do, live by the 5 rules. You got a shot at being right and being happy. Good night, Doc Thompson.
Wherever you are!
Give Lusty a kiss for us.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling.